Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
Great beer is about drinkability. Doesn't matter the style.
You guys are like walking beer Wikipedia. That's the first time that you've ever accepted me as a person.
Or you have a fermentation in your gut.
I'm jet propelled at all times.
How many guys do you think that you have the privilege to slap?
Somebody who's never tasted a commercial example, and this is how you know everything about this beer? Please, you don't.
I think that's bullshit.
I think it's bullshit, too.
Wow. Are you guys going to arm wrestle?
No. We're going to teabag fight instead.
Yeah. You heard of Junkyard Wars?
Can I get another high five, Beavis?
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for showing up. I always like it when you guys show up. It helps me do the show.
That's all I got to do. Yeah. Don't do anything else.
No,
have you noticed that?
Yeah. You're welcome. Noticed that, Tasty.
You ever see me bringing homework or, getting a presentation or something?
No, in fact, sometimes I've seen you show up at events and surprised that there's other people that have to do things at all.
Exactly.
I think you've said, oh, this is what you guys do.
Oh, that's how you get in here.
Yeah.
I see. Oh.
Yeah. That's all right, Tasty.
All right. Well,
you enjoy it.
Somehow I do something.
You enjoy the twilight of your...
That's right.
Of your life.
This is probably months, not years.
He's only got so many shows left in him.
That's right.
You know, I was decorating my house for Halloween, Tasty. We put a cemetery in the...
I saw a picture of some cancer thing in the...
Yeah, JP's thyroid. And we thought about, we were like, what do we put on the tombstones? And I thought, well, we were going to put your name. But then I remembered I'm now higher on the death poll.
So you would have had to make two.
So it didn't make sense. Yeah. To put you there.
Sure.
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. We got a good program for you tonight. Our good old friend Chris Graham is coming back on the show. Remember that guy?
I do. He sounds familiar.
He hasn't been on the show in years. Of course, Chris Graham is one of the owners of our longest sponsor, More Beer, the sponsor of this program and every session that we do. And I'm excited to have him back. We're going to be talking about brewing efficiency. Basically, not like mash efficiency. I mean, getting things done faster.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm. We get a lot of emails recently as we've grown up here on the program. Oh. So have our listeners. And we get emails all the time with people saying, hey, I've had to mothball my brewing equipment because I don't have time anymore. I'm married now. I have kids. You're going to find out soon, JP.
Yeah, I don't even start with
that. And I don't have time to brew. It takes up a whole Saturday, right?
Well, for sure.
And so we've gotten a lot of requests for how do we speed up the process because I don't want to stop brewing. I want to get back to it.
Yeah.
And so first thought we had was our old friend Chris Graham. He was always kind of a gadget guy, and he loves geeking out on stuff like this. Yeah. So he's prepared a little presentation for us. He's going to come in here and teach us how to speed up our brew day.
I like it.
Yeah.
He's just going to sit down and say, buy a Pico Brew, and then just take off his headset, get up, and walk right out the door.
He does have a tendency to be short and sweet. read, actually, which is nice for a tall guy. So he's going to come in and do that with us, and we're also going to talk to Sergio from Melavino Meadery here in the beginning, and we got a lot to do, a lot going on. Also, JP and Beardy both just went up to Washington.
Seattle.
Seattle. To learn all about Pico Brew's new product.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
So we're going to learn about that in today's show, too.
Yeah, I got a tour of their facility. It was really awesome to check out all what they got going on up there.
Excellent.
Very well spoken.
So,
you're welcome. I could say it again if you want.
It did sound smooth.
I didn't hear the paper ruffling, but it sounded like you're reading.
All right, now listen. This is important news here.
Yes. All right.
In my glass is the first ever.
Yeah.
Well, sort of.
And mine's
because some of you fuckers have gone and done it elsewhere.
Hey, what are you going to do?
Oh, well.
It's the first officially sanctioned.
Oh,
did I not ask?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Right.
Which, you know me, I don't give a shit. Hop Grenade IPA in my glass. Yeah. Brewed by the good folks up at Heretic Brewing Company. Maybe you've heard of it.
Well, the folks.
The good folk.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. I said folks, didn't I?
Well, you said good folks.
Oh, I see. You corrected me.
Folks.
Come on. They're great folks is what you meant.
Right.
So Chris Kennedy helped design this great IPA, and you want me to be honest about it? Here's the deal. Yeah. He made this great IPA. I slapped Hop Grenade IPA name on it because I needed to get it done quickly for a whole other thing that's happening that I don't want to talk about. And now we have Hop Grenade IPA on tap here at the Hop Grenade, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Now, the original Hop Grenade IPA that we've talked about here that I've been working on with Tasty and Nate, that's still coming out, Tasty. So fear not, we're still doing our own like full-on collaboration product.
But you got something on the
project, but I needed it was a logistical issue and it had to get done fast. So I went up to the brewery. I actually was getting beer for a party I was having anyway, and I tasted Chris Kennedy's the brewer. I tasted his IPA,
That's good beer.
And I went, you know what? I'll slap Hop Grenade on that any day of the week. A great IPA, and so that's what we did. It solves a problem I was having. And it's now on tap at the Hop Grenade if you want to come out to the tap house and try it. And then later on, we will build upon it even more, and you'll get Tasty and Tasty and Nate's version of Hop Grenade.
It'll be like
the
it'll be a series unto itself, where like the Hop Grenade, and then have a secondary name or some sort of...
Yeah, we'll have to do some sort of tagline, some sort of sub...
to describe the changes from the last batch, right?
Exactly. And look...
Variable, whatever.
Well, I think...
Clearly, people like IPA so much anyway, no one's going to complain if we come out with version after version of Hop Grenade IPA. Right.
This is a little different. Who cares?
I think I might back off on the Crystal, though, or... Because this has quite a bit of color, and I know he probably used a lot less than we would.
Well, and Kennedy actually admitted that this is heavy on the Crystal, even for his taste, and he told me that. But you know what? I liked it. I think it's just such a great IPA that I said, "Hey, I'll put my name on it any day of the week." Yeah, he admitted that too, and I don't know. He was worried. I would think it was too bitter, and I don't think it is at all.
No. It's a new beer too. It'll give it some time.
Wasn't the homebrew kit we put together a few years ago, wasn't that called Hop Grenade IPA?
That was, and I believe Tasty and Nate had a hand in that one as well, if I remember correctly. So, maybe this already is 2.0.
It's the second version.
And then you'll be 3.0 in the next one. You did 1.0, and now we had Kennedy do 2, and here we go. So, but I will admit this, it was a proud moment for me, even though it was like I wasn't in there brewing the beer when we wheeled out that very first keg of Hop Grenade IPA that I knew was destined for our tap house.
10 years in the making.
I was really excited about it. I got a little... I didn't get teary, but I thought it was cool.
I had my first sip of it 15 minutes ago, and I looked at it as our bartender slid it to me across the bar, and I went, this is a momentous sip.
It's a moment, right? I have a picture of, because I don't do anything, of Kevin wheeling the keg out of Heretic, so that was exciting. I pulled a card out of your book there, Taste It, play out of your book. I brought someone along to wheel the keg.
That's right.
Yeah. Now you entered your second business with no profit.
I know. Now
the brewing business.
The brewing business.
So it's got a TTB ID and all that?
Cool. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Jamil took care of all that stuff for us, and we're off and running. I don't know what to say.
Great.
We're not bootlegging anymore.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I just wanted to get that out of the way because I was excited about it. And so it'll be on tap here for a couple days. If we don't drink it all tonight, come on down to the Hop Grenade. You can try Hop Grenade IPA right here.
Yeah, can't wait.
All right, another little piece of news, and this one's a little strange too. I've been announcing Winterfest date.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah. I've been doing Save the Date as January 30th.
Right. And you've been doing great at it, by the way. It's like the one thing that you've been doing really well.
And also because it's for 7 years now, it's been completely accurate. It's always on that date in between the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. So it was a no-brainer. Let's start announcing the date. Sent out a reservation to all the Brewers. They started signing up. Well, the good folks at SF Beer Week moved SF Beer Week.
Wow.
The whole thing. They moved the whole thing. Apparently, because the Super Bowl is in town this year, the Super Bowl's here in the Bay Area, all of the venues that they hold large events at, like the opening gala and a few other things, were asking quadruple the price, or they were already booked up anyway.
Wow.
Because apparently whatever city the Super Bowl goes to, it's corporate event central.
Oh, sure.
So any venue of a substantial size is booked out by corporations, and they pay top dollar.
Nice.
So I'm not upset with the SF Beer Week folks. I'm frustrated with that it had to happen, but I understand why they did it, because they wanted to still be able to have an event. So usually SF Beer Week is 2 weeks after us, which was always great. We're like the first big fest after the holidays. Everyone's been holed up and hibernating, and they're ready to get out. Yeah. And then it hardly interferes with SF Beer Week, because that's another 2 weeks later.
Well, then you get a break. That's the important thing.
Right. So SF Beer Week fell right on top of it now.
That's too bad.
I knew that before I sent out the Save the Date. Occasionally I do a little research. My assumption was still, hey, if all the marquee events keep their same days, like their same day of the week as they have since SF Beer Week started, I'm still good on that Saturday. In fact, it's perfect. I'm the middle Saturday event. No, it turns out they all moved, and there are now 4 marquee events on Saturday, January 30th. Yeah. Now, this presents 2 problems. One is ticket sales, of course, because beer geeks have their choice.
Yeah.
But the bigger problem, frankly, because I think we'd still draw a good crowd out here, is brewers have to choose which event to go to.
Oh, right.
And we get a lot of brewers out here. That's part of the beauty of Winterfest, is that the brewers themselves come and enjoy it and pour the beer. So, all that being said, I think I'm moving it to the Saturday before, January 23rd. We're now going to be, which makes us essentially after the opening gala on Friday night.
Yeah.
We're the big opening event on Saturday.
Oh, okay. So we're falling in line with SF Beer Week.
We're falling in line with SF Beer Week, and it's a 1-year only thing. Apparently, SF Beer Week is moving right back to where it used to be next year once the Super Bowl is gone.
Okay.
And so I do apologize for those of you if you actually saved the date and booked flights, or those of you coming from out of town. But I hope you understand there's nothing I could do. If we want to have a great event, I got to move it.
Exactly.
So I'm moving it to Saturday, January 23rd. I'm waiting for one more confirmation on that, because there is a brewery that I know and I love. They're a strong supporter of the Brewing Network, and certainly of Winterfest, actually. They sponsor every year. They're also doing an event on that Saturday, but there's not much I could do.
Right.
And now you're competing with football, right?
So that's okay. You're right. There's 3 problems, and that's why I've always avoided those weekend. The weekend in the middle was so good because I don't have to compete with football. Now we're competing with football, so now I have to go work with the cable company or somebody and figure out if I can broadcast the game in the park. Just put up a big screen.
Oh, nice!
But that's a rights issue,
right? Yeah,
you got NFL rights.
Now
it costs you $10,000 or more.
Now they've done it in the past with other games here in the city. So sometimes because Comcast buys the rights, all right. So your cable provider also, and sometimes you can work through them.
Okay.
I'm hoping that's the case. Otherwise, I don't know. What can you do? It's just going to be one of those years that we got to deal with it.
Will it be the AFC or the NFC game on our day?
Oh, yeah, depending on
a Saturday?
I don't know.
We're not going to be in the NFC game, I can guarantee you that, but we might be in the AFC game.
I thought people sported on Sundays.
No, once it hits playoffs, playoffs are on Saturdays.
Oh.
Good question, Tasty. I don't know.
Nice if it was
I guess that matters.
I don't know if the Raiders will make it. But
well, the Niners aren't going to.
That's right.
Sure.
I don't
have to worry about it. In fact, everybody at the city told me that too. They're like, well, you don't have to worry about the Niners. Anyhow, so that's the deal. We're looking at January 23rd, okay? So bear with me. I'll get you final confirmation, as soon as I can. All right, let me get through other announcements just really quick here. Don't forget that you can get Moscow's new Hop Life gear over at hoplifestore.com. Check it out. It's really great designs and cool stuff. Very unique. You can also get Brewing Network gear in our store. Just click the store button on our homepage. Do your Christmas shopping through not only our store, but on Amazon. I know you're all about to start that. Click the Amazon link right there on our homepage. It's on the right side. It's orange. It says Amazon, and you just shop as normal. We get a little piece of the action. Also, you can subscribe and join the BN Army. That enters you into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway. Chance to win a $100 gift certificate to More Beer. So get in there and help support us. We need it. Get all these updates and more over on Twitter and send your show ideas over to Scott the Jew. That's scottthebrewingnetwork.com, and send feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. And speaking of support, I did a little rant last week about brewers. Professional brewers, home brewers turned professional brewers, coming up to me at events and thanking us for all that we do. And I just would say I think that's wonderful. I'm always happy about it. I'm happy for you guys. But if you really want to thank us, become a sponsor. And that helps us. Then we can spread the word for you. We can help your brewery grow like we did the 21st Amendment. Remember when the 21st Amendment was just a brew pub in San Francisco? And look at them now. They're this major regional brewery. And they've been with us since the beginning, a lot of advertising. So I went on about that just to say I appreciate the verbal thank you, but we need and appreciate more the monetary thank you by becoming a sponsor. Yeah. Well, you know what? Several brewers reached out, and some have started to sign up. They wanted more information about how to become a sponsor, and I thought that was really cool. And I thought everybody knew, and apparently they didn't until I squeaky wheeled it.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, if you're a brewer, if you like the program, if you'd like to see us go on for another 10 years, we need your help. Send me an email, justin@thebrewingnetwork.com. We'll get you all the information. It's a great way to spend your advertising dollars. And thanks to those of you who responded to me last week. I appreciate that. Twitter game? Twitter Game's brought to you by one of our great sponsors, the Labruski Cruise. And we're going on the Labruski Cruise.
We are.
It's going to be...
It's going to be hard.
Start resting now.
Yeah. Ideally, I'd say we should take the month of February off, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I like that idea. Maybe I'll take it off. You could do the show.
Maybe take the rest of March off.
No, I mean from drinking.
Not from the show, but from drinking.
Right.
I don't know how to do the show without drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Have I ever done one without a beer?
No, I mean like weekend drinking, like partying. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't know how to do that either.
Shit.
But have I ever done a show without drinking? I've brought up this question before.
No way.
A dry show?
What reason would there have been that you would have done that?
Antibiotics or something.
I think so.
There might have been one. I seem to recall a sober show.
Yes.
But was I sober or was I just not?
No, I think
you were so hungover from the night before.
But I must have had like a beer. Bevo, what are you thinking? Oh, did I turn you off?
It wouldn't be the first time.
Every day.
It's often deserved. Didn't you not drink after the MRSA incident?
Oh, for medical reasons.
Antibiotics.
Did I come on the show for that? Was I doing the show? I don't think I did the show. Right?
You called in from the hospital.
That doesn't
during.
But you're talking about like the show after that?
Yeah, like the show after when you were...
No, I was probably drinking for that.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
Because I was on pain meds too, so it was good.
I do remember a sober show, and I don't know why. Maybe
was
some
it
sort
only
of
40 minutes long?
That was a 12-minute show.
No, I don't know.
That's all I got.
All right, anyway. Join us on the Labruski Cruise. You can click the Labruski link right on our homepage at thebrewingnetwork.com. It's a big picture of a boat with beer.
Yeah.
And come party with us.
Can't miss it.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
All right, what's our Twitter game?
Well, in case anybody doesn't know, it finally started raining here today in the Bay Area, and it came down in torrents, man. Sheets of rain and hail. It was amazing. Thunder and lightning.
It
was scary.
Otherwise known as like normal rain.
Yeah.
Normal
weather.
rain.
Right.
Yeah. But it first it was nothing, and then it was everywhere.
Yeah.
For since last night.
Okay.
And so, I think we're celebrating. I think the whole Bay Area, maybe the whole state, is kind of like happy now, and I'm excited about it. I went and played in the rain for a bit today.
No, you did.
A 5-year-old.
What does you playing look like?
Don't worry about it.
Right.
So I want to know how we should celebrate the rain.
Okay.
The winter is finally here. What do we do?
How to celebrate the rain.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. That's your Twitter game. Send us your answers. All right, let's do a little feedback. Feedback's brought to you today by our good friend John over at Beer Law Center, who's doing some work for me right now. Another brewery with a Hop Grenade IPA.
Heretic.
Yeah, I'm suing Jamil.
Jerks.
Damn it.
Should send him a cease and desist.
Should. Go to beerlawcenter.com right now and check it out. John can help you. He's good at what he does. All right, let's see here. Chad writes in, I hate PayPal. Hello, JP.
Hi.
It's you who monitors this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So he says, I've wanted to become a monthly donor for a while, years now, actually, but I've had several security issues with PayPal, as have many of my friends, and I refuse to have an account with them. Now that the BN has seen some awesome growth, well, is there any way you could move away from the antiquated PayPal payment processing system and let me pay with a credit card directly? At this time, no. But that is in the works. We're changing some of the things that we do. It's phase 2 of our new website, so I'm hoping to help you out. I thought you didn't really have to have an account on PayPal.
You don't. You can use your credit card.
But maybe for the recurring payments you do. That's what I think is maybe the problem, is that you have to have an account to do recurring payments. You can do one-time payments just with your Visa and all that.
Yeah.
You know. So if you want to do one-time donation stuff, we will take note and put you into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway. We do that with lots of people. And I think you can do that without having a PayPal account. So in the meantime, try that. Otherwise, I am working on a way to get outside of PayPal. The other thing is, I know I've heard this before about security issues. I've never had any trouble. And they do take care of a lot of security issues for a proprietor like me. In other words, you don't want me running the security on the website required to process payments. You want a big company that knows how they do it.
Yeah.
Now, I have heard this before about PayPal, but I've never really experienced it myself. And I've never heard from one of our listeners, hey, I had to get out of this thing because PayPal screwed me over.
Right.
So, frankly, even though I get these emails from time to time, I have a lot of faith and trust in PayPal. They've done good for us over the years.
Sure, and considering how many payments they process, not only from us, but on a daily basis, and even if there is some sort of tiny security infraction, it's, minute compared to what is working most of the time.
And there's that with every payment processor, by the way.
Yeah.
So
this guy probably is on local. He goes to the airport and joins the free Wi-Fi and shit. Like, this guy
and he's like,
he doesn't know what he's
buying his porn at the local Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I'm gonna check my email on the open hotspot.
But he's willing to send you his credit card number and security code.
Yes. All right. So that's all I have to say about that. All right, Jordan from Australia writes in, concerning your wonderful show, Dear JP et al. Recently on the session, the question was raised of which other beer shows were deserving of listening. Other podcasts, I guess. Sometimes a completely unrelated podcast. Somehow a completely unrelated podcast of what you might call the legal thriller genre was recommended. That's the one I was talking about. Serial last week. I don't know why he's not saying the name.
Being clever.
Yeah. After this, I immediately downloaded and listened to the entire series. I want to cordially ask you not to recommend such things anymore.
Too much of his time.
Because I haven't listened to the BN in over a week, which is the first time in years, he says. I sent people away from us. Also, a question here for your friends, Doc and Tasty. You're not my co-host. You're my friend.
Our friend.
I like that. That's nice.
Hey, that's not bad.
Here he goes. Doc's not here, but Tasty can answer. Is there any difference between lagering in a keg and in a bottle? I've had some luck with lagers in competitions recently and got to wondering if I could hang on to competition lagers in a couple of refrigerated bottles rather than keeping a whole keg tied up for weeks or months. It might help. What do you think?
Basically, bottle, lager, bottle condition.
Yeah. Well, maybe not even bottle condition,
Right.
but he can keg condition, put it into a bottle, and keep a 6-pack of bottles around instead of a 5-gallon keg.
Yeah. Well, there's obviously a geometry issue, and you're going to get a different effect, I think, because of the shape of the fermentation vessel. But yeah, I don't think there'd be a major difference at all if you keep it, to lager temperature. You can keep, temperature control in the bottles like you could the keg or other fermenter. Sure.
Shelf life issue with the bottle, right?
I think
because you are
serious
introducing oxygen more so than in the keg.
But there's still some fermentation. It's going to...
if he's bottle conditioning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, if you're lagering, there's still some yeast available for consuming of diacetyl and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It'll still be cleaning itself up. I think it...
You think it's fine?
Yeah.
Buy another keg.
I think you have a pretty good oxidation risk that you're running.
That's what I was
on a
worried about.
homebrew level.
But there's fermentation going on. It should consume that.
I think here's what we're talking. I think there's a difference in language here.
Okay.
Tasty's talking about lagering just the period of time that you lager, right? A short period of time. You might be talking about long-term storage lagering, which is what I was thinking too.
Right. I'm saying if he's finished the beer and he's got a lager and a keg and he's like, the keg's getting low, so I'm going to put it into bottles. Is that fine? Instead of leaving it in the keg until it's empty, versus it's done primary and I'm just going to transfer it directly into bottles. Then I think Tasty's right in that you still got, if you're going to do that right, it'll carbonate in the bottle and everything will be fine, and there you go.
If you're going to bottle condition.
Right. But if you're not bottle condition...
Is that what you're referring to,
inherently
Tasty?
you are, because okay, if it's lagering in the keg and you move that same beer into another vessel, it's still going to be lagering. I mean, it's still going to be actively, cleaning itself up until there's nothing to clean up, and then everything falls to the bottom, whether it be the keg or the bottle.
Okay.
So,
wait, what about primary?
Well, because if he's lagering in the
please.
bottle, when is he carbonating? Unless he's,
I don't know.
unless he's just doing it.
I assume it's already carbonated. You can lager carbonated beer. There's no,
yeah.
Okay, so you are just talking about cold storage lager, just regular cold storage
I wouldn't
lager.
think twice about it.
And you're not worried about
at any stage.
Okay,
I think
unless it's that really actively, pretty actively fermenting, you can't put it in the bottle; it'll blow up.
It needs to be done. Primary needs to be done.
Right. So this is the cleanup phase.
Yeah.
So you put it in cold storage and reduce the activity.
Well, remember, that's what lagering is. It's not a special thing. It's just cold storage.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and some people don't necessarily know that. So, maybe he's a little confused, perhaps on what lagering is, like secondary fermentation. People think there's a second fermentation happening.
Yeah.
It's not. It's the same. It's a continuation.
Okay.
So, he could be confused too. But
well, there you go. Two opinions. Tasty thinks it's fine. JP thinks it's fine. Beardy would rather see it stay in a keg for risk of oxidation. And you could try it yourself and see how your results are. If your bottling process is really good, like I think Tasty is referring to, you might just be fine.
And I would suggest the oxygen absorbing caps. If anytime you're bottling, especially if you're not going to open it within a week.
Supposedly those don't do anything. Sierra Nevada went back from oxygen absorbing to normal because their tests said that there was nothing.
I've done it a couple times side by side on a homebrew scale, and I've had clear differences.
Okay. Yeah, but that's hard to do on a homebrew scale.
Right. I mean, mine also tasted like Brett, and so I'm not sure. But yeah, I've noticed big differences.
For the other,
right? Yeah.
Well, maybe they scavenged the easy oxygen, and Sierra had their beer at the point where they're already taking care of all that.
They're the Tasty of bottle caps.
But I got to get through the rest of this feedback, or it's never going to happen, because I got to get to our Melavino segment. So Jordan did want to, his final question was, P.S. Do you think Adrian is guilty?
Add none.
Whatever.
No, I don't. And if you're looking for more cereal, there's Undisclosed, which is like a real boring version of cereal.
Okay.
Check it out.
All right. Sergio writes in, I believe maybe the same Sergio we're about to talk to, but he wrote in, you might be a drunk BN Army member if, and he has a list.
Which, anytime you put jokes in a list form, you might be a redneck.
If you start analyzing how many more beers it'll take you before you're ready to call into the session. If you start talking about how much you love JP and sympathize about how bad everyone treats him.
It's so irritating.
If you then call into the BN and tell JP to suck it anyway. If you start considering what or who you can pee on to win Drunk of the Week. True. True. If you have a negative and offensive review on Safe Step Tubs Google listing.
What?
That's a callback. That's a blast from the past. Remember that guy?
Is a blast from the past, yeah.
Oh, shit.
If you think everything Tasty says is life-changing, even when he's asleep on the show. If you send Blobber a friend request on Facebook. If you can start making a case for why Doc should be the new Dos Equis most interesting man in the world. If you try to recruit your non-beer enthusiast friends to listen to the Brewing Network by playing them lunch meat episodes while claiming it's the best radio ever.
It really is, though.
And then if you refuse to apologize for making them listen to lunch meat. All right, there you go. Here's some traveler advice. My name's Andy. I'm a brewer from Rock's Brewing Company in Sydney, Australia. I went there, Andy. Addy, I'm sorry. A-D-Y. So I guess it's Addy.
It's Adnon, asshole.
Maybe I should put my glasses on. That might help. So from Rock's Brewing Company in Sydney, Australia. Hey, I went there, and good beer. So thanks for doing that. He says, your podcasts have been getting me through my shifts at the brewery and have been a great source of info, but now I need some beer drinking travel advice. In November, embarking on an epic 3-week tour of your fine country, and I've been informed by my missus that I won't be allowed to spend all day, every day in a brewery. So I'll have to choose. So I have a dilemma.
Yeah, don't bring her.
Time for a new missus.
Yeah, he says there's a dilemma. It seems that there are way too many amazing breweries, blah, blah, blah. He wants a recommendation. So I'll list off the city, And we'll all throw out a couple recommends. How about that?
Okay.
He's going to Los Angeles.
Eagle Rock.
Eagle Rock.
McLeod.
Yep.
Three Weavers.
Is Monkish still in L.A.?
They're Torrance, is that
That's
close?
Torrance. That's
Sure,
that's
LA.
Los Angeles County, I
If,
think.
if Eagle
Monkish.
Rock is, then
Yeah,
Well,
so
Eagle Rock is LA proper.
So Monkish is on top of my list.
And Noble Aleworks.
Noble, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all right.
Evan,
I'd go Eagle Rock and McLeod first.
Okay.
Yeah, those two.
All right, San Diego.
Beachwood. Sorry, Beachwood.
Oh, right.
Oh, Beachwood.
Long Beach
Long
is LA,
Beach.
right?
Yep.
Is it?
Is it? I don't know.
I think
close
Long Beach
enough.
is Long Beach.
It's like an hour from Eagle Rock or so you're fine.
Yeah,
LA's
okay.
big.
Also,
He's short on time. If he's in LA proper, he's not
Disneyland.
going to hit Long Beach. So
tons of beer in Disneyland. Go for it.
Carl Strauss.
San Diego.
Society.
There you go.
And that's it.
Rip
Of the
Current.
100 that are there.
Rip Current in San Diego, too.
Oh, there you go. Good call.
Yeah.
Las Vegas. I don't know.
It's kind of barren.
They have fucking $1 Heinekens, bro. Who gives a shit?
Right, yeah, go to the casino. It's all free.
Yeah. At that point, you're quantity over quality.
There's now a brewery in, what's the little tiny town outside of Vegas, closer to the Hoover Dam? There's a brewery there, but I can't remember the name.
Syphilis, Nevada?
All right, yeah, I don't know how to help you there. San Francisco.
21st Amendment. 563 2nd Street.
218.
Cellar Maker.
Cellar Maker.
And then let's just call it the Bay Area. You could hop over the bridge to the Rare Barrel, too.
Rare Barrel.
You can all do that.
Faction.
Fieldwork.
Yep.
Drake's, Fieldwork.
Anchor.
Just spend a bunch of your time
Triple
in the
Rock.
Bay Area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do the Anchor Tour. Sign up for the Anchor Tour.
Yeah, in
That
advance.
That should
Yeah.
be the top of your league. Even Sully would say, don't come
Yes.
to my place first.
Sign up
Go
for
to
the Anchor Tour.
first. Yes, do that.
Portland.
Just walk down any street.
The Commons.
There was,
Hub.
they
The
were
Commons.
fine.
I like Hopworks Urban Brewery Hub. I like Sassy's.
Breaks.
And
yeah, not a brewery.
I like Cascade.
If you
Breakside.
if you like prosciutto, there's a prosciutto bar in the Pearl District called Hamlet. Mm-hmm. And they have cocktails and beer and 10 different kinds of fucking prosciutto.
Lovely.
If you want to spend
do
a lot
that.
of money on food, Les Pigeons, or however you say it, the pigeon in French,
Okay.
is a really good place.
The Deschutes, maybe.
Gotta keep moving. Gotta keep moving. Indianapolis.
I would go Clear Creek Distillery, by the way, in Portland.
Who
Sorry,
goes
go
to
ahead.
Indianapolis?
Yeah, I don't think
Don't
we
know.
know. Tasty, you got something?
I'm sure there's a Yard House or some shit. I don't know.
No, there's a great brewery there. God damn it.
Rock Bottom?
no.
BJ's?
No.
All right, you keep thinking about it. I'm going to
Sun
keep
King.
moving. All right, here's one writes into Scott from Logan, the beer rating game. Hey, Scott, the beer rating game is an awesome addition to the show. However, I believe the game is derived from the Rotten Tomatoes game.
Indeed it is.
Okay. He says, then why aren't you following the correct format? I believe the game could be a recurring theme on future shows with just one tweak. Instead of letting everyone base their guess on the previous brewcaster's guess, everyone should write down their answer immediately following the name of the beer.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. Here we go. Amazon. Hey, friends and JP. I have a question about the Amazon link, and it's not where is it. I live in the UK, and your link goes to the .com website, not the .co.uk. So my question is, can I shop via the link but the .co.uk site?
My understanding is no, it does not work internationally.
Okay.
I've had Canadian people try it. South America, it doesn't seem to work.
All right. Then someone thanks us for, he was watching football, I guess, BN in college football. Dear shitbirds, I'd like to thank you for adding humor to college football. As I was brewing an oatmeal stout on Saturday, I had the Michigan State game on in the background, and at one point, one of their wide receivers caught a pass, and the announcer started saying his name and talking about him. His name? R.J. Shelton! So I was laughing out loud during doing the Frontier Talk as a college football announcer. Thanks for the entertainment. What is that? Okay.
Oh, the brewery in Indianapolis was Sun King.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
They're the ones with the Tom Brady jab on their cans, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Nick writes in about Central Coast. 2.5 hours into this week's Central Coast podcast, if Brendan's girlfriend interrupts one more time, I'm going to punch her in the throat.
Did she interrupt a lot? I don't remember.
She did, but in the background. She wasn't on a mic.
Oh.
Yeah.
You drink, you say stuff. Yeah.
I don't know. There's some other good stuff here, but I gotta go. Attended my first regional conference. What is this? Oh, this one's cool. This was sent directly to me. This dude wrote in and said, hey, I recently attended my first regional craft homebrew conference, and I was drawn in by some nationally known speakers and authors. While the content was good, it was nothing I hadn't already heard or read. And so I left feeling a bit taken advantage of. Why, you ask? Because I dropped a fair bit of coin to attend those sessions and left feeling like I hadn't learned that much. So, light bulb, I realized I had been hearing all of those things and more on the Brewing Network show. shows like Brew Strong, Dr. Homebrew, The Session, The Sour Hour. I feel like a knob. For all this time, I pulled your content for free at my leisure to listen whenever I chose. While doing that, I then go pay several $100s to sit in a small classroom for a day listening to material I learned mostly on your network. So I'm a loser, and I'm not proud of it, but I'm taking the first step to redemption today by signing up as a sergeant in the BN Army.
Yeah! All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for that. And if you do appreciate the content, like I've always said, the content is free. But if you like it, you pay for books, you pay for classes, you pay for that other stuff, and it goes a long way if you pay us too.
Yeah. Plus, there's no dick jokes in books on the average. So
wait,
you
that's
get
a
more,
good thing.
No, you get more with.
Oh, I see. Where that's a bonus.
Yes.
Yeah, we give you content and dick jokes.
What about 101 Dick Jokes?
That's a good book. He's right.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want anything about homebrewing, though. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Good job.
Dick.
All right, let's go talk to Sergio from Melavino. Sergio, what's happening, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh, just hanging out and drinking beer. Thanks for being on the program.
Yep, always a pleasure.
Now, Sergio from Melavino Meadery, of course, comes on from...
Also from the feedback?
Also from feedback, that's right. Was that you, Sergio? Sergio from Jersey?
Oh, yes.
A nice list. Good. You went way back, too. You has a deep cut. Yeah.
I've been listening for a long time. So.
Okay. Well, as you know, folks, Sergio comes on from time to time and teaches us just a little something about making mead. And today we're talking about post-fermentation options, right?
Yeah. So, sometimes when people make mead, it might not be what they basically planned on. Sometimes it could be a little too dry, sometimes a little too sweet or too acidic. So, this Mead Made Right segment, I thought I'd talk about, some kind of like fixes for post-fermentation.
Love it. Good. All right. Well, walk us through it.
All right. So this is a pretty easy one, basically, is whenever I used to make mead at home, I would always try to make some different size batches also on the side. So I'd put together 8 or 10 gallons of the same must. Some of it I would ferment dry, some of it I would ferment sweet, and the rest of the 5 gallons I would kind of just try to do what I want to do for that particular recipe. The great thing to have a dry mead and a sweet mead always on hand is if you do need to do any tweaks, now you could do some blending afterwards. So if it's too dry, you got your sweet mead to blend into it, and vice versa. Sometimes with a mead that's too flabby, let's start with too acidic. You could always use the sweet mead or even some honey. You could just dilute a little bit of honey into some water and try to use that to actually kind of cut the acidity of that mead. But that doesn't happen too often. What mostly happens with mead making is the mead is lacking acidity. So a lot of people will give the advice online and in books as well for mead making is to add acid blend to your mead. And that's a huge pet peeve of mine for a pretty interesting reason. So no matter what manufacturer you get acid blend from, it's a standard product made for, the wine industry and for, home winemakers and whatnot. And the acid blend contains 3 different types of acid. You have malic acid, which is mainly sourced from apples, a tartaric acid, the main acid in grapes, and then you have citric acid. So the citric acid is always pretty much artificial and is probably the least it is the absolute least amount of acid found in most fruits besides like your citrus types of fruits. But even so, when you use citric acid, adding to a mead or even a grape wine, it has this real artificial taste to it. So when you use acid blend, every manufacturer's blend, for some reason, always has over 50% of that acid blend as citric acid. So what ends up happening is you add that to your mead or to your wines, and then you start getting like this real like artificial kind of acidity. It almost kind of, if you add a little too much, which is very easy to do, especially with citric acid, it almost comes off like Nerds candy type of acidity.
Mm-hmm.
So what I like to do, and what I always recommend mead makers do at home when they ask me this question is don't buy any acid blend. You can purchase each one of those types of acids individually So go and buy just the malic, just the tartaric, and even the citric if you do want to have that on hand to experiment. And think about it. So if you're making a sizer, a mead made with apple cider and honey, and it needs acidity, why not just add malic acid, which is an acid more related to apple cider? If you're making a pieman, a mead with grapes, grape juice, why not use tartaric acid? Because it's going to be closer related to what you would find in a grape wine. So using the different acids in different in those specific ways, I think, makes a way better fix for a mead that's lacking acidity.
Got it. So you're not against adding acid at all. You're just against adding this blanket mix,
which is the citric.
Yeah,
citric. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's always so much citric, which I never understood, because the product is made for the wine industry specifically, and to add to a grape wine where citric acid is, over 50% of that acid blend, but in grape wine where citric acid is almost barely found in grapes or grape juice.
Right.
So it never kind of makes sense to me, basically. So that's why I started experimenting, and it makes a heck of a difference. I've even noticed with a traditional mead, just honey and water, if you add enough tartaric acid, it actually even starts resembling more of a grape wine. You get some almost grape wine character out of it just because of that tartaric acid addition.
What is the typical pH range that you're looking for in mead?
So it all depends, because you're always going to have the different, it all depends on the sweetness, right? So, I mean, with mead, there's such a big range. You could be all the way down to bone dry, all the way up to, like 1050, 1060 final gravity, like syrupy sweet. So it really all depends. I like to finish my meads around like 3.2 to 3.4 for the most part. But again, that's always gonna vary.
Okay.
It's weird. I'm looking up nerds because I was like, I wonder, do nerds just contain citric acid? Is that why the citric acid tastes like it? But they don't. They contain malic acid.
Oh, look at that.
Interesting.
A childhood friend of mine's mom created nerds
in
a lab, and I thought he was lying to me for the longest time. Like, that's a weird lie to tell me, like bragging about your parents, right?
Specific.
Oddly specific. And it's like, turns out she's like, yeah, I actually did make nerds. That's my job.
But she's not loaded. Like, she didn't invent nerds. She made them.
No, she made them in a laboratory.
Okay, she didn't create. Like, she was the first person to make a nerd.
What's the difference?
Did she invent nerds, or did she make them?
She made
no, she invented them. Right? Yeah, it wasn't. She invented them. She wasn't on the factory line.
That's the difference.
Making them right. She invented them as the first person.
Is she rich?
Yeah. Does she get a cut of each packet sold?
They weren't hurting. Maybe.
Okay.
Well, I mean, she spent all that time at the Wonka factory, I assume, because that's where they came from.
Of course.
So, right. She got paid in Wonka
so
bars.
That's rich.
Right.
That's wealthy right there. All right. Well, so that's good advice. Go buy the individual acids, and then you're saying experiment a little bit with each one and see what works for the mead.
Yeah, absolutely. You could always try doing blends of different different proportions. Even still using the citric acid, just use different proportions. Don't just go by the catch-all acid blends that you see being sold everywhere.
Got it. All right, great advice. And I see that you're growing quite a bit. You got new fermenters coming in. You got a new bottling line. What's happening over there?
Yeah, man. We got. I think we're only the fourth meadery in the country to have an automated bottling line, which has been probably like the biggest Christmas gift we could have purchased ourselves for ourselves. We just started using it 2.5-3 weeks ago, and oh man, it used to take 5 or 6 of us, and we used to always have to kind of beg for volunteers to come in and help us bottle,
right?
Because we get 8,000 bottles every batch run. And we were doing it all by hand for the past year and a half. It would take 5 or 6 of us about 5 hours to bottle up just one tank of around 1,800 bottles.
Wow.
Now we do 1,800 bottles in about an hour and 15 minutes with 2 people.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we're pretty happy.
Good for you. So that just means more Melavino meat on the shelves for us, right?
Yeah, so the first idea that we had, or not idea, but the first plan that we had was, okay, we're going to need bigger tanks because of the demand that we've been having that we cannot meet. And that was just in the tasting room. I mean, we've been selling all of our meads direct to consumer through our online store and through the meadery. And what ended up happening was we realized no matter how much mead we made, we still were selling everything right out the meadery. So we couldn't even start distribution even if we wanted to.
Wow.
So it got to the point where I said, all right, we're just going to order bigger tanks. So I ordered another 10,000 liters worth of tank capacity. And those tanks are actually arriving. They're hitting Port Newark this Friday, actually.
Okay.
So we should have them sometime next week. But when I told my brother that my brother here helps, he actually just started full time today. It was his first day.
Nice.
And when I told him we're getting these bigger tanks, the first question he asked me was, how do you plan on bottling all that more mead?
Right.
How are we going to get through that?
Good question. Clearly, he's a laborer.
We got the bottling line first.
Is he your older brother or younger brother?
No, he's younger.
You still smack him on the back of the head when he walks by?
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah, we always bust each other's balls.
You got to. All right.
But yeah, no, everything's been going awesome. We're jumping from 7,000 gallons a year production to 42,000 gallons a year now.
Jeez, don't you? How are you going to go from 7 to 42? You don't think about like a middle step?
No. Why?
Yeah, no, I guess not. That just seems that seems impossible to me. So much. Good for you.
No, it's pretty intense. With that nutrient. With that nutrient regimen that I put together, we've kind of cut some time off the fermentation turnaround time. I mean, we're fermenting 14% alcohol in like 9 to 10 days.
Wow.
Now we're also sterile filtering all of our meads, which I'll tell you, sterile filtering a 3-week-old mead makes it taste like a 3-week-old mead.
Interesting.
So we've kind of cut the production time down a little bit more, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And now with the bottling line, it all gets bottled same day. So yeah, we're going to be able to turn around our tanks quite a few times, and we have the whole country to fill.
So you're going from day one of fermentation and packaging in 10 days? Or just primaries being done?
I would say 2 weeks, 2-week turnaround time if we really wanted to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you. Making things happen. You're a smart guy over there, Sergio.
I dropped out of college, but I Googled my way through business.
Not bad for the dirty jurors.
Yeah, you're from Jersey. You can't finish college. Right. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, man.
Well done. Well, I'm proud of you, and that's excellent to see more mead coming out of the brewery, the meadery, and I hope to see more of it here on the West Coast.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we'll get out there soon enough. But for now, we are shipping out to California through our online store. So
okay. Good.
Yeah.
So people can go check it out right now at mellovino.com. And thanks for more good advice about mead fermentation, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we got a new hopped mead. It's called the Hop Grenade Mellow Mel.
Oh, X, that's so exciting.
Yeah, our attorney will be calling.
Yeah, I wonder what the logo looks like. It's really exciting.
Looks like you with your head about to explode.
Yeah.
And John in the background wagging a finger.
Yeah. All right, Sergio. Thanks, brother.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
If she's a 5 beer, it's a 2 mead, right? Yeah, it's Crosley logic right there. That's definitely Crosley logic. All right. It's a good long segment. We're going to take a little break right now. When we come back, our good friend Chris Graham from More Beer is back in the studio. We'll figure out how long it's been, and we're going to learn about how to brew faster so that we can, do other things and still make beer. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Three-time Ninkasi Award winner and Grandmaster Judge Gordon Strong invites you on a guided journey of what's new in the world of homebrewing. Modern homebrew recipes, exploring styles, and contemporary techniques available now from Brewers Publications. Gordon brings you specific advice and sensory profiles for as-brewed, award-winning beers with delicious variations to get your creative juices flowing. This is more than just a book of recipes. It sets brewers on the path to discovering what's new in the world of homebrewing. AHA Director Gary Glass says, if you want to enter competitions or just learn more about styles that you might not have experience with, this book is going to help you tremendously. By emulating what Gordon does, you're going to make better beer. Modern homebrew recipes, exploring styles, and contemporary techniques by Gordon Strong. Available right now from brewerspublications.com and find brewing retailers near you.
21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support. Like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer. Whether for yourself or as a gift, when you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Hey, Wooly, I'm beat. Can we find a nice tree to just hang out in for a while?
You're beat. I've been swinging through this forest for 50 years, ever since we first escaped from the circus. I know, but there's got to be more to life than exploring this creek and trying to populate the valley by copulating with loose, hairy girls.
Marquis, stop.
Look!
What is that?
It looks like a man-made treehouse.
With fresh food.
And craft beer.
Welcome to the Creek Monkey Tap House, boys. Grab a seat. Creek Monkeys drink free.
Awesome!
The Creek Monkey Tap House in Martinez, California takes their mission of fresh food and beer seriously. They only serve locally raised beef and chicken, as well as local sustainable produce. It's better for you and the planet, and it just tastes better. The beer and wine at Creek Monkey Tap House are chosen with the same care for the highest quality and rotate frequently to make each visit an adventure. Swing on into the Creek Monkey Tap House and enjoy a new legend of amazing food, beer, and wine. The Creek Monkey Tap House, online at creekmonkey.com.
The Brewcasters are back.
It ain't 401 beer.
Whatever.
welcome back to the program. Thanks to Sergio from Melavino for hanging out with us a little bit, teaching us about mead made right. We appreciate that. And right now we're going to get down to it because we've got our old friend, and by old I mean long time, long-time friend. Chris Graham is in the studio. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. Welcome.
I'm trying to remember the last time you were here.
You're welcome here.
You're welcome. You've never been to this studio.
No.
When's the last time you were on a show?
I believe it was March 2009. I'll answer for him.
2009, for God's sake, Chris Graham. It's like you've forgotten about us.
Kids will kill you.
That was before I was even homebrewing.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, what year did you have your kids? That was only a couple years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Twins Chris Graham has had since he's been on the program last.
I like to do things fast.
Just get it done right. Yeah. Well, welcome back, and welcome to the new Brewing Network studios.
This place is awesome.
You like it?
Yeah.
You helped build this place, man. The house that Chris Graham built, by being an idiot. By being an idiot way back in 2005, you brought us here, Chris Graham.
You're my favorite mistake still to this day.
Excellent. And our listeners love you because you give away stuff. It's going to take about 15 minutes before we get you drunk enough, and I'm sure you start giving things away.
I'm on my second beer. It's coming.
You are?
Yeah.
What time did you get here? Just a half hour ago or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you come straight from work?
No, I went home and helped.
Help with the kids.
Yeah, you got to put in a little effort.
Yeah. You can't just disappear for 3 hours on a Monday anymore.
Daddy's going to work.
Yeah, it is work.
Yes.
Technically.
You ever use that same line on your kids? You're my favorite mistake.
I try not.
Only Justin.
Yeah, just me. So Kate informed me that I saw you at JP's wedding.
We were there. You were there.
I was so hammered. And afterwards, she's like, because she said, hey, Chris Graham, they want to grab dinner with us sometime. And I was like, Chris was there?
I was the one with the obnoxious kids running around in the background.
Yeah, they were fine to me, apparently. So drunk. What a party, JP.
Yeah, thanks. I don't remember you being there. Not just anybody else.
Do you remember Taryn being there?
Barely.
Yeah.
She'll remember me being there, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Not so sure.
What's that eye heels?
So we do want to talk about, I sort of set this up at the beginning of the program, that we get a lot of emails nowadays, and you probably hear it now too, especially being a dad yourself. We get a lot of emails about, hey, I had to mothball my whole brewing system because I don't have time for this anymore, and I really want to get back to it. I still listen to the show. I still love homebrew, but I don't have time to spend all Saturday. So finally I said, who can help with this is Chris Graham. And how do we speed up the brewing process and just different tips and tricks to get back to brewing, but maybe not have to spend 12 hours on a Saturday doing it.
You know what the blurb is from Chris's last appearance in March 2009? It says, Chris will close. He'll teach us how to start brewing for $100. And then move on to how to keep brewing beer cheap in these difficult times.
Brew on the cheap, that's right.
If you got no money and no time, Chris is your man.
Well, and I think we've done a gadgets show before that, and then we've done Brew on the cheap and how with no time.
Frugal. That apparently is me.
Frugal, yeah. So we're going to talk about that, but I want to, let's let people know a little bit about More Beer, because also a bunch of stuff has happened since you've been on last. You now have, I think, 150 locations across the U.S. Do I have that?
Close to that. We're working on it.
You guys have locations everywhere now. You have an East Coast distribution center.
Yes.
That's been going on for a couple years, right?
Yes.
Where is that one exactly?
You want to know what's confusing about it?
Yeah.
It's in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Interesting.
With an H?
California.
Okay. Let's tell people why.
Yes.
So that's
Where's
in
the other one?
Pittsburgh, PA.
Yes.
But you've now just opened a warehouse location in Pittsburgh, California.
Right. Pittsburgh, California has no H.
Okay.
Right.
Pittsburgh, PA has an H.
What a difficult thing to market, though. Right. You're not making my job any easier.
Come for the two Pittsburghs. Right. Stay for the homebrewed beer.
Oh, record that.
Yeah. Now, what was the purpose of opening the Pittsburgh, PA location?
Closer to the people.
Okay. The East, just to get supplies to the East Coast faster?
Exactly. So you look at population density, and it's all about getting to people faster.
Okay. And so you're able to do that just with this location. Do you have a bunch of employees out there? Is it another huge More Beer?
Robots.
Just robots.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
I'm sorry.
Drones.
They're called employees. I apologize.
Yeah. They're on the Chris Graham robot.
We actually don't have a single robot, so.
Oh, it's too bad.
Yeah.
I'll give you some time. You will.
I would like one.
Yeah. But you don't have a...
They would unionize.
The robots?
The robots?
Yes. Of course.
Sure.
Yeah. Robot rights. That's the next thing.
Yeah.
Give them the vote.
But I don't know what 101 means.
Yeah. That's been open for what, 3 years now? More?
Pretty much 3 years coming up.
Okay, coming on 3 years. And that's allowed you to get stuff out quick.
Yeah.
Do you spend any time out there? Do you have to go?
Periodically. I found out the same day I found out I was having twins that we were opening that location.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that made gray hairs just instantly go boom.
What do you mean you found out? Because you're the owner. I mean, I know one of the owners.
Surprise!
But I'm
curious how you just found out.
Well, I say
It was
found out.
concluded.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the right word. It was discussed after our meeting with the lady who says, "Oh, congratulations," and you start crying.
Yeah.
Saying there's two of them in there.
Okay, got it.
And then you go to work and you have a meeting that you'd planned on having, and then you say, "What's the best thing we could do?" And we're like, "Let's make product get to our customers faster."
Okay.
What's the best way we can do that? Let's open up on the east.
Got it.
See, we beat all these breweries to the east too.
You did. That's true. They're all late to the game.
Yeah.
And then why Pittsburgh? Everyone else is going to North Carolina.
Have you ever been to Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh is a cool city. Did you pick a place like based on where you would like to visit?
Not at all. We threw some darts.
Okay, yeah.
No, we had the shipping companies do a few analysis of where we ship to. And we said we want to hit as many of our customers within 2 days or less from both our distribution centers. So from there, we can hit 89% of our customers in 2 days or less.
Wow, okay.
Sorry, Ohio.
No, Ohio's quick.
They're one. Okay.
It's Florida that gets.
I see. Well, they moved to Florida. That's their fault.
They have Disney World.
It is
Right.
the
Cool.
retirement capital of the world.
They're dying soon anyway.
They only have to wait for it for a few years. Right. They'll be dead. All right. So it worked well, I assume, because you've had it now for okay. And then why? Because Pittsburgh, California, is not far from Concord. For those of you listening who aren't from our area, why a warehouse there?
Well, it's beautiful.
Beautiful Pittsburgh, California.
So it came
So
down to
you're
this.
right behind the refinery.
So those of us who have worked, yes, we're in the refinery.
You're in it, right? Yeah, cheap real estate.
We've been in Concord for 20 years now.
Yeah.
And we said, hey, those of us who go to our shop have said, you need to move. Like, we've taken over all the buildings, and we're kind of in every corner. We took over the neighbors' buildings.
Yeah, I saw that.
And we're renting in Fairfield, and we're renting other places. And
Just for storage?
For storage,
okay.
Yeah. And to manage all that inventory being other places. So we said, we got to have everything under one roof, make life a lot easier.
Yeah.
And choices came down to leave the state and find bigger places in Nevada and such, or go out to Sacramento, Stockton. And we said we don't want to lose our staff. That would suck. So we decided, okay, let's try to find something local. And Pittsburgh had an old cannery.
Okay.
And that's what we're in.
How big is that building?
Oh, God, the building's huge. Maybe 800,000 square feet. 900,000 square feet. And we're in 100,000 of it, and we're just we're just suite one.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's suite one. Amazing. Are there other businesses still in it, or is it pretty empty?
No, it's solid.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So it just happened that there was this giant space available for you guys.
Exactly. And the last company there was so successful that they bought their own building in Walnut Creek.
Okay.
They're doing well.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Right. And, of course, you all love living in the Bay Area yourselves, so it's not like you wanted to head out to Nevada if you didn't have to.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where if we can keep our employees, we can keep ourselves happy by not moving. And so it's 12 miles away from our old shop, so not that far, but might as well be 1,200 when you're moving.
Yeah, okay. And everything is moved now? So just, again, folks, if you've never been, More Beer has this great showroom in Concord, and then right behind the showroom was this warehouse. And, of course, like Chris said, they kept moving into all the suites next to them. Is that whole warehouse portion gone and into the new place?
Yes, but the showroom will triple in size here pretty shortly.
Nice.
Oh, great. So more inventory, more things locally, bigger space, so they can display more and have more inventory right there on the floor instead of having to go in the back.
Tell me that there's going to be like this awesome sculpture showroom. Because my thing was always that I go in there, and yes, there's one or two sculptures, but you guys make so many different ones that I always wanted to see like a line of them, like new cars.
Well, if you're willing to put your credit card down, I will put my own showroom for you for sculpture.
Yeah, okay, good. You must, with all that extra space now, you have to put in a
We'll have
wrap.
a few in there. Yes.
Okay, good.
We'll have the new touchscreen control panel.
Yeah.
for people to play with and test out. And
Is that being sold yet?
yes, it is.
It is.
Oh.
Can I upgrade my original 1550? It'll never work.
That for the rest of your life.
Like I can't just plug it into my old one. It's not going to work.
You could,
to
but
my
I won't let you.
1550. Right.
You have Jamil's old system, which was then my old system.
Dude, that thing's a badass. I'm not getting rid of it. It's a tank. I just want to plug and play the new screen. That's all.
Well, okay. I'll let you have that.
I want to slap it right on there. All right, cool. So a bigger showroom, that'll be fun. And then everything. No showroom out in Pittsburgh. That's just a warehouse?
Just warehousing.
Okay. I feel like you just made it harder for us to reach you. Now you're hiding out in Pittsburgh, so I don't come knocking on your door anymore. Hey, Graham, I got this great idea. You do all the everything and send it to us.
He knows your bug won't make it over the hill.
That was all part of the plan.
It'll get stolen over there.
It will also get stolen over there. All right, well, let's get down to business helping homebrewers, shall we?
No.
Tell me where we can start to make our brew day a little less time-consuming. What do you got for us?
Oh, God, there's so many areas, and all of them involve one thing.
Not drinking? Okay.
Yeah,
Common
not
sense.
drinking might be part of that common sense thing.
Okay.
But most of what we do in homebrewing is cleaning and waiting. Both things that end up fucking up our beer, usually.
Okay, yeah.
We drink during those times.
Sure.
But for the most part, it's all about planning. It's all about having a great cheat sheet that breaks down your brew day into little segments. That allows you to let your friends help you out. I've got a lot of other stuff. This isn't the only thing I'm going to say.
I'm just
winging it right now. I don't really know.
It's really quiet in here.
But even like with a cheat sheet, what you mean is like really breaking down it by processes. So
Exactly.
Instead of because I just throw it all in one.
We know
lump.
how you and JP brew.
Just-
I mean,
oh,
I brewed
yeah.
with JP for years.
Yeah.
And it was the oh shit moments that made me say, well, maybe you could have a little thing, JP, that tells you have to add sanitizer to your carboy before you.
The amount of times I have to extend my boil because I haven't cleaned my wort chiller yet,
Right.
or my fermenter or anything like that. It's it's a real pain in the ass.
Yeah. Okay, so really kind of getting that down into a system.
Yep.
Okay.
So it comes down to two things for me. If there's certain things, Mike, back me up here, I won't trust other people. And then there's your friends who want to come brew with you, and I'll let them do that.
Okay.
And that's the crap work usually.
Scrub that. Or...
Yeah. It's stuff that can't screw your beer up.
But you won't have them like sanitize your conical.
No.
Because that you have to do
pitch
yourself.
or oxygenate or any of those things. But seriously, I mean, I've cut down on my brew days 2 hours by having a cheat sheet.
Okay.
And it's just a little Excel sheet, just a reminder, before you grab that next beer, maybe you want to do this. Instead of just sitting on the couch, put some football on and
have another
see what
beer,
happens.
eat some chips.
Yeah.
I don't have a list, but maybe I would. If I would, maybe I could have people over to help me brew because,
But I
I'm
guarantee
doing it all in my head.
I guarantee you have one in your head that.
Yeah, I do. But I get distracted by people being there, and I lose track.
But even you,
maybe I should do the
Tasty,
list.
even you who is good at it, do you do anything else like that? Do you go shopping without a list?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Yeah. You just go out of your head? Okay. Well, for most of us humans, we got to have it written down.
Yeah. No, that's a much better way to do it.
I just don't drink while I'm brewing.
I've heard that for years, but I don't want this one even mentioned on the list.
Okay.
Yeah. More of the times you come over to my house, you're real boring.
Well, the first time I ever drank while brewing was at your house.
Yeah, and it was real boring.
Right. I don't know what that means, but
I don't want to go off too. I still think, what's the point? You're not going to have a beer
Justin,
while you're brewing. I mean, I'm not a professional.
But that's what makes a checklist great. Now you don't have to worry about it.
Good call. Okay.
Now you can enjoy one and be like, well, I still know what I got to do next.
Yeah.
I don't want to clean my carboy, but I got to do it.
I got it. It's on the list. I see it. Okay. All right. So really make a process.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. And that to me is huge. I mean, the rest of this stuff's gravy. If you don't have that, it's good. You're going to perpetually be in the same thing of like, what do I do next? What do I do next?
Yeah.
What do I do next? And that can cost you hours every time you brew, bottle, keg, whatever you're going to do.
You just kind of run in circles too.
Well, you walk between places. And
Yeah.
if you look at your list, you would go like, oh, might as well get this while I'm here.
I definitely do that where I'm just kind of bouncing back and forth, and it wastes a lot. It all adds up to.
And once you write the list, you never have to look at it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, literally, you never look at it once you write it. But that's where your friends come into play when they want to come quote unquote help you.
Yeah.
Because usually a friend helping you brew is nothing more than a hindrance.
Sure.
But when they want to help you, now you can be like, oh, great, you're cleaning.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to start using a list.
All right, what's next?
The next thing is really more about like, what do you own? What's the setup time? And it's really about planning. Again, I know this is boring common sense, but it's about like if you can set it up the night before. Okay, so you got kids. I mean, those are the people I'm talking to now because I know what pain you're in.
I know what pain is like.
And your wife's like, "Hey, honey, you can have 3 hours tomorrow," and you're like, "Yeah."
What am I going to do with that?
I'm going to brew all grain, triple decoction now.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be all to yourself, they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
right.
never.
That's not what that means.
But pre-setting up, if you don't have something that is set up, the more you can filter your water, have it in place, all of that kind of stuff. If you're just heating your strike water in the morning, it is an awesome day of brewing. Rather than like, oh, crap, where did I put that cooler? Wait. Halloween party, we used it for punch. I better go find that. I better clean it because I didn't clean it last time I used it because I was drunk.
And all the little parts and hoses and everything. You're right about that.
Yeah. So it goes kind of with the checklist because you could put that on your checklist if you're really attentive. My checklist has like 5 things, so it's not like some involved, complicated thing. But if I don't have it, I'm screwed. So that's my next thing is really about when you are going to brew, pre-thinking it out and saying like, I need this much water. I need this much to really get going. And hopefully by that point you've made your choice of style you're going to make. You've made all those choices, and you're not getting a brew day going like, what am I doing today?
And this stuff can be done over the course of a few days, too. It's not like you have to spend another 2 hours on Friday. You could, look, on Tuesday, go in and find
Well, when
your
you go to
stuff.
morebeer.com on Wednesday to place your order for Friday.
Yes.
That's how it all
You go
works.
look through your stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
Make sure you have it.
Get that order.
But you can clean your chiller and all that stuff, days ahead of time. So
Exactly.
On brew day, a lot of your stuff's already checked off.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the more you can clean for kegging day or bottling day on brew day, because, again, you're just cleaning and waiting.
Yeah.
The more you do those types of things, the easier the days are.
Okay.
So then you're in your brew day, and what can you do to shorten it? And for all grain brewers, that's what I'm going to focus on today. But because a lot of us had all this spare time, and then it got just yanked away from us.
Right.
It sucks.
And you don't necessarily want to, one quick way, obviously, is to sort of move back to extract brewing or something. But a lot of these guys writing in, they know that. They go, all right, I could extract brew. But what I loved was what I used to do.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, of course.
Seinfeld.
But they want to do what they used to do, these all-grain brewers. So.
Well, and a lot of us, once you do it, it's like, I don't want to step back. I want to be an all-grain brewer.
Okay.
So that's where little techniques can go a long way. And one of the basics ones I have is I had to rethink why I did what I did. And I mashed for an hour, almost always. And then I, a lot of times, go through a mash out afterwards. And I sparge for 45 minutes and boil for 90 or whatever it was. So I started playing with it, and I started shortening those. And it's like, yes, you lose efficiency if you shorten your mash.
Okay.
But not that much.
And you could adjust your recipe accordingly.
That's exactly it. Once you do it a few times and you say, like, okay, and really I'm not trying to shave that much time, so I'll shave 15, 20 minutes off and use an extra 5% of grain.
Okay.
To make that difference. And
so something like a 40-minute mash is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
40, 45 minute. You can do a half hour, but again, you're gonna keep bumping up how much grain it takes to get that same efficiency.
Aren't there strips or something, like a way to check that you've had conversion?
Well, you can do an iodine test.
I was going to say that's your best way is an iodine test, but tasting it actually is one of your easier ones.
Okay.
And clarity. If it's clear, it's converted.
Yeah.
Clear and sugary tasting.
I was going to say,
is that what we're saying?
You're making sugar, so as soon as you can taste sugars, which most tests are 6 to 8 minutes if you look at a diastatic power. Yeah. But it's all about extracting it in a clear fashion. That takes a while.
Got it. Okay.
If you have iodophore as your sanitizer, you can do a conversion test with your sanitizer even.
If you can see color. bastard.
Oh.
Yeah. Beardy can't see anything.
Yeah,
so I don't know what he's talking about.
All I can see is
you
color.
You actually can't see color at all, Chris Graham? Everything's in black and white?
You can see that there is.
I see some.
They're all just the same color.
In a tight spectrum, there's different shade differences.
Shades of
You
gray.
and Warren, man. Warren, to hear Warren talk about, you think he's just like a fucking amoeba that can only react to light and dark, and that's it.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't see color. I'm like I'm in a Cagney film, and
what I think. I'm like-
I'm with Beardy the amoeba. Jeez.
Yeah. The two of you should brew together.
He's the one who just suggested it.
Yeah, I know.
It's a good idea.
I used an iodine test. I just don't know what the results were.
But I went through the motions.
Right, yeah, I
Tested
did
it. Yeah, I opened the bottle and poured it on my head. I don't know.
Must be converted.
Tested for something.
All right. So something like a 30-minute mash.
Yep.
And then you mentioned that normally what you used to do is a mash out too, which is what, like bring the temperature up to like 170.
Exactly.
That sort of locks everything in, right?
But it makes everything much more viscous. It denatures the enzymes. It does a lot of good things. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
But
so do you
I
still
need
do
all
that,
these
or do you cut that out?
I usually cut that out.
You do?
Yeah.
I've only done it a handful of times, and it was based. I did it because Tasty did it, and I thought, well, if Tasty's doing it, it must be good.
And quite frankly, when you got a lot of time, it is perfect.
Okay, all
It'll
right.
make for, I think, a much clearer beer, get you a much better, consistent extraction rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it'll freeze everything. It'll stop the extraction.
All right. So if you got time, it's worth it.
Exactly.
But you feel like it's something that could be skipped if you want to
If
just.
I don't have the time, I would skip it.
Okay, got it. So now we're to sparging, though. And that still has to take the same amount of time, right? No.
No, not at all.
All right, so what's the deal with that?
You know, all of us old school guys still fly sparge. I don't know why I still fly sparge, but batch sparging is awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of do now is kind of a hybrid of the two.
Okay.
I'll fill up my mash tun to a certain point, and I'll drain it almost the whole way out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm pumping in my next batch of water into it, and then letting it rest maybe 10 minutes and pumping that out. So half hour tops.
Whereas fly sparging, it's just this continuous...
Slow,
45 minutes.
But do you have to Vorloff in between batches?
Not usually, because I'll use a pump. And that's another piece of equipment that helps me do a lot of things. So if I'm doing a recirculation during the mash, I don't have to stop and do a Vorloff with a pitcher or whatnot to get clarity.
Even on the second batch.
Right, that's what I'm saying. In between
that's
batches.
That's why I said wait about 10 minutes. And then using my pump in that 10 minutes so that the filter beds...
So it is a Vorloff.
Oh, okay.
Right? That's a Vorloff.
So you're doing a Vorloff in between batches then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you caught me.
Okay. Still.
yeah.
But now we're talking
beardy.
10 minutes, so, okay.
Same thing, that may affect your efficiency, but again, that's all built into the recipe.
That's exactly it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. And now at the end of 2 batches, I have a kettle full of wort?
Well, 2 sparges.
2 batch sparges.
Yes.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And you got your normal ready to go. And when you're resting, doing your roll-off, getting it collected, I'm bringing that first part up to a boil, and I have less liquid in my boil kettle, so it's easier to get up to a boil. So as I'm sparging the second half, it's already hot.
Yeah.
Getting me there faster, so I'm not just waiting.
Yeah, that's a common sense thing I didn't do for years, too.
Yeah.
Like, I just waited until the kettle was full, and then I turned on the heat. Then somebody, I don't know who, just said, you can start heating now. And I went, oh, yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I do that?
There's this rare, weird, thing of common sense and alcohol. And they tend to be on this opposite extreme of each other. And it
That's
sucks.
true. Also, though,
it's like being married and going to a strip club. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Also, I was always just so focused on the process itself that I was like, the process right now is to fill this thing with wort, not to heat it. That's next. And I just sort of moved it to the next step, right? But it's the same step.
And there's so many things. If you do a checklist, there's so many things that make it easier. Like one of them is during sparging, even fly or batch, doesn't matter. I used to keep sparging, keep adding liquid to my mash tun until I collected the exact volume in my boil. And I'm like, why am I doing this when I could just hedge my bet and just let it drain? Get more sugars because now I'm not diluting it with more water. And so now on my checklist, I have an exact gallonage that when I hit that, I just stop my hot liquor tank, let it drain all the way, and only once I've been burned. The rest of the time has been great.
Okay. I lost a finger that one time, but it's fine.
I don't know why those grains absorb more water, but they did.
I used to have 3 kids. It's weird.
That one happened.
All right, so now my kettle's full. What's next?
We boil.
We boil.
Yeah, don't cut that short. Don't do it.
So don't cut anything on the boiling short. Like I do a 90-minute boil.
I do a 60, and there's a lot of times it's really about when you start the timer.
Yeah, okay.
You know, some people say I do a 90-minute, and part of the boil over is their 90-minute. And for me, it's once the boil over's done, settled down, everything's calm, then I add my hops in.
Talking about the hot break?
And then, the 60-minute starts.
When do you start the burner?
For what? The boil?
For the boil, yeah.
When I get about 2/3 up, 1/2 up, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Oh, wow, that full?
Yeah,
So the kettle's 2/3 full before you even turn the burner on?
I used to do it at like a quarter, and I worried I was getting a little too much caramelization because you have such heavy sugars down there.
Yeah, I do it on the Friday before, and it's never worked out.
The kettle is nice and hot.
You do dry kettle edition?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds really cool when
You
I
throw
first
some
start
hops
to
in.
start, but
The sizzle is great.
It's not very good for the beer. Why can't I do a 30-minute boil? I mean, assuming I had adjusted the hop time, right, or the amount of hops rather, so that the shortened time still gets me the bitterness extraction I'm looking for. Why not shorten the boil? Do we know?
Go for it. Tell me what you think.
Is it because there's a lot of other things that are happening?
I've never gotten the clarity that I've wanted out of shortened boils.
Yeah.
I've never gotten the good, clean extraction of hop bitterness.
Okay.
I've gotten hop bitterness, but it's been very muddled with a lot of flavoring hops, a lot of grassiness that I wasn't looking for in that particular one.
Okay.
Yeah, there's proteins and fatty fats that need to be broken down.
Don't call me that.
Fatty fats.
Fatty.
Whoa, fatty
And
fats.
they affect things like, fermentability and clarity. And stuff.
Okay, so a lot more happening than just the
But if
sterilizing.
you don't care about that, like staling agents that might be available to the finished beer. So it's all going to be done like at your own tap room and stuff like that.
Or you drunk
could,
fast.
Sure, you could do it. It could work.
Yeah, I just think that's one of the least places I would look to save my time.
Okay.
Yeah, put 30 minutes in.
But in that 60-minute boil, you can clean up the entire mash. You can get all your fermentation stuff ready. You can actually get most of your bottling or kegging stuff ready in that 60 minutes.
If you've done all your other homework. Maybe you got to weigh out, if you're weighing out the hops and stuff. But it's time to do some other work. Yeah.
Even with the all Pilsner-based malt beer, you'll still just do a 60-minute boil? Do you have like a very vigorous boil to get all the DMS off?
Okay, so if you're going to get into like a Bohemian Pils or something maybe specialized, we're talking about the guy who needs to hammer out an IPA to make himself happy.
Yeah, right.
Probably not in my Munich Helles or my Bohemian Pils, but most ales, yes.
Sure. Okay.
Where do you think the floor is for that? Even though I know it's clear that's not where you should be looking to trim time. But so I mean, there's no difference between 58 minutes and 60 minutes.
No,
is that fair to say?
and
So where's the floor then?
Well, there's
50 minutes?
there are no boil beers.
45.
Okay.
For me, personally. Now, Mike might do 44 to beat me out at one. I don't know.
It's very competitive.
JP might be 42.
I'm a 90-minute guy all the way.
90.
Yeah.
What do you do, JP? 60? 90 minutes?
I do
whatever the Pico Brew says.
75 to 90. So I'll start at about a quarter, maybe a third of the way full. Start the burner.
Yeah.
Talking about the boil, right?
Yep.
Okay. I was
I know you weren't here.
I was looking at the technical point.
Fermentation, actually.
Hot liquor tank.
And so like Chris, I'll wait for my hot break to happen, where the foam gets kind of hits its max and the surface tension is not allowing the steam to come up and it creates that big boil over. Once that dies down, then I'll add my hops and that's when I start my timer for my first 60. So
okay.
It depends. I don't do a hard thing. Whatever the beer, it's like baking or cooking anything. It's whenever the thing tells you it's done, it's done.
Okay.
I've seen JP brew. Don't follow those instructions.
That's pretty much what I do.
That's
too,
exactly
so
what you
this
just
might
said
be
10 minutes ago.
Yeah, but I've seen you brew.
Mine's the same, which isn't good.
You
I don't
said
think
you
I'm
liked
helping you.
The bunny costume.
I did. It was cute.
All right, so boil is done. What now?
Take a nap.
Now we have a beer.
Yeah.
Or we at least have a quarter of one just to celebrate.
Yes.
And now we start planning for fermentation.
Okay.
So it's all about all the steps coming into fermentation.
All right, so why don't we do this? We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk fermentation with Chris Graham. If you've got questions, hit the chat button or call us up, 888-401-BEER. We'll be right back with more Beers, Chris Graham.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Have you ever dreamed of attending the World Brewing Academy? This year, thanks to Lallemand and Danstar, one lucky brewer will make that dream a reality for free. Lallemand and Danstar invite you to enter the Beer School 2016 contest. One lucky grand prize winner will receive fully paid tuition to the 2016 World Brewing Academy web-based concise course in brewing technology, worth almost $4,000. From now until December 11, 2015, every Danstar yeast packet you use is your ticket to enter. Visit danstaryeast.com for the details and to print your official entry form. There's no limit on the number of times you can enter, so get brewing with Danstar and get your entries into the Danstar 2016 Beer School Contest. Whether you want to build your homebrewing skills or build a career as a professional brewer, this course will change the way you think of beer and brewing. Enter at danstaryeast.com and get the dry yeast advantage with Lallemand and Danstar Premium Brewing Yeast and enter to win. For nearly 40 years, one organization has had your back. The American Homebrewers Association. Are you a member? Why not? Join the more than 40,000 brewers who enjoy all the American Homebrewers Association has to offer. Like Zymergy Magazine, in print and online, plus the Zymergy app. Zymergy is the leading publication for amateur brewers around the world. Supporters also get member deals at their local breweries, bars, and homebrew shops. These alone quickly pay for your membership. You'll also get great member-only resources at homebrewersassociation.org and access to AHA events like the National Homebrewers Conference and the National Homebrew Competition. The American Homebrewers Association promotes the hobby of homebrewing, protects the interests of homebrewers, and brings beer lovers together. Become a member today. It costs less than a batch of beer and gives back so much more. Visit homebrewersassociation.org.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states, plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy f***ing shit.
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
There are two types of people in the world, naughty and nice. GrogTag is letting you tell it like it is with their naughty or nice labels for the holidays. Grandma getting you down? Slap a naughty label on that 4-year-old pale ale and put it under the tree. Did your Uncle Sal add you to his will? Well, he deserves your freshest batch of IPA with a custom nice label. Pick up one set of each and take 25% off your order by either entering code NAUGHTY or NICE at checkout. We all know how much beer you have to get rid of, so why not make it look good? Go find them at grogtag.com and don't forget to sign up for their newsletter to learn about their upcoming Black Friday sale and the Gifting with GrogTag 12-day sale during Christmas. GrogTag. At least your beer will look good.
You're tuned into this session because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
Yeah, welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out. Got a few things left to do. Hey, don't forget about our good friends over at Beersmith. You can go to beersmith.com right now and check out their home brewing software, which is also used by pro brewers everywhere, too. It's just that good. Get your free 21-day trial of the Beersmith brewing software over at beersmith.com. He's got a podcast and he does DVDs, too. There's a video there with our good friend John Palmer. So go check him out at Beersmith. You don't have to take our word for it because you get a free trial out of doing it.
But does he do DVDAs?
Oh, I don't know. Is that
That's the real question.
That's a new thing now?
Oh, it's the new thing. It's
What
the
is it?
newest format.
Really?
Yeah, DVDA.
What is it?
Double vaginal, double anal.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I don't think he does that yet, but it's probably on the agenda, knowing Brad.
Right.
You know, he's a smart guy.
He's on the cutting edge.
He's on the cutting edge of these things. All right, also, we're going to give away some things right now.
We're a really appropriate podcast.
Yeah.
Right now.
Well, because Chris Graham's on his third beer, and
Time to give away he's a family man. He heard the tag being capped, and he's like, I need to sit down. I'm a little loaded right now.
It's time to give some things away. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got a refractometer and a $25 gift certificate to More Beer. I believe the whole package is worth almost $100. Right now to caller number 10 for 10 years of the Brewing Network.
That's right.
With More Beer.
Call 10 right now.
Radio professional.
10 years of the marriage that is More Beer and Brewing Network. Caller number 10 right now, 888-401-BEER. 888-401-BEER. You're going to get a refractometer and $25. And we got some more things to give away tonight, too. So call your friends. Tell them to tune in. And we're going to do it all live here on the program. We do have one thing that we'll give away later in the week. So you'll get a chance. Those of you podcast listeners will actually get a chance to play along as well.
A date with Doc.
And, sorry, two things.
That's right. A date with Doc and syphilis.
That's the gift that keeps on giving.
Right.
Yeah, dates with Doc.
Be careful what you wish for.
The date lasts 3 days. Just FYI.
Yeah.
Gonorrhea is forever.
Every date I have with Doc lately lasts 3 days, so Beardy's not kidding.
And Beardy lasted pretty good this last time.
Yeah, Beardy partied with us pretty hard.
I had to move my car, otherwise I'd get ticketed. That's the only reason I left.
That's the only reason you left?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, pay that ticket.
Oh, no, but we woke up on your couch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was that time.
Like in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, so we were just about to move on to the fermentation process. We finished our boil. And do you want to talk anything about knockout? And there's not much to do to shorten the chilling wort down, is there? And,
There's little tiny things you can do. Pre-chilling your water, having double chillers, Doc style, ice, lots of ice. Anytime you can incorporate ice somewhere in there, it's going to help.
Okay.
What about no chill? Anybody? That's something you could do, right? You could just put your wort right into your cold space and let it do all the work.
Yeah, what about that, Chris?
What about that shit? Then you could go party. Just go. Let's go
That
drink
just
beer.
sounds plain awful.
The no chill method.
It's a risky business.
I'm a germaphobe, and you just made my skin crawl.
Yeah. So you don't like it.
One germaphobe from the next.
I rarely pitch the same day.
Yeah, I know,
Oh,
Mike.
really?
And I'm always
I create the war.
perpetually blown away at how good a beer you make.
Well,
by that.
I drink them quick. You never know.
Yeah, it doesn't stick around.
They make it out of the ferment, which, of course, is significant.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple things you can do by chilling the water, double chiller, stuff like that. But just get it cold. And now we're into a fermenter of some kind.
Yep.
What now? How do I speed it
So
up?
the fermenter itself can make a pretty big impact.
Yeah?
Anything with a pan bottom, conical bottom, anything like that is going to help you. So the more conical it is, the more you can dump trub during fermentation, the more you can shorten the process. Speed up the maturation, in other words. And the right shape will help you get better tank hydraulics, better flow of the wort fermenting around. You know, in the glass carboy, you see it going around.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And
What
you'll
a
know
thing of beauty that is.
it is, but the taller, the skinnier it is, the longer it seems to take relative to a short, wide vat.
Okay.
But a little too short wide might make you flavors that you don't want. So it's all about the right ratio of height to width.
Okay.
And most of today's conicals and fermenters meet those height to width ratios. But I find with any of the fermenters out there, there's super cheap plastic one out there called Fast Ferment.
Mm-hmm.
There's the SS Brewtex. Of course, Blickman and ourselves, we make conicals out of stainless. So a lot of choices, but believe it or not, that little change can knock a few days off your ferment.
So you're saying the carboy is not the ideal one because it's taller and thinner. Or are you saying that fits in this group too?
It fits pretty well. It's
Okay.
surprisingly how good it can do, but you can do even faster.
Okay. And this is just shaving days off terminal gravity is what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Okay.
But if we're shaving hours off a brew day, days off a terminal gravity might be pretty big.
Yeah.
Ease of cleaning, too. It always took me way longer to clean a carboy and get every single bit of dried trube at the top with the carboy brush that's hooked, trying to scrape off all of those little bits, versus being able to open up the top of a conical, reach in, and just scrub it all.
Yeah.
Is way faster.
Yeah. I used to just throw the carboys away.
Single use?
Are you kidding me?
Those are one-time use.
Go to more beer and bite it off.
Justin, remember what you used to do to your carboys?
Actually, I like that strategy. In fact, stainless conicals, just throw them out, get another one.
Just get to do it.
Justin used to leave his conicals for months and say, Doc, can you clean these?
No, not my carboys, not my conicals.
Your carboys. Oh, his carboys were just...
Yeah.
They were nasty.
No, I did get a conical back that I questioned, and it actually looked pretty good. So.
Yeah, the conicals I take care of. The carboys, that's single use. Come on, get out of here. Okay, so proper fermentation vessel, a little wider. Okay,
but then before that, obviously, you got to pitch, and that can make a huge difference in time of fermentation. If you pitch a single pack on a 1065 beer, it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
It's going to take a longer lag time. It's going to take longer to ferment. So if you're like me, you got no time to make a starter.
Yeah.
You just pitch a few more vials of White Labs or Y yeast. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Where would you get them?
I would go down to the bakery and see.
You get a deal on those?
Yeah, so that's of course that people complain about the price of doing more, but you got to weigh what you're looking for here: speed or cost.
This is not the budget show.
Right.
This is the I got to get it done fast show.
So I've done this before too. I'm generally on the starter method, but I agree with you. Sometimes you just don't have time for that. I've done I've bought 4 vials before and dumped them in.
High gravity 4 vials, no problem.
Dump them all in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now there's Giga yeast. Now there's crap.
Never heard
the
of it.
organic.
We're a
one.
White Labs show here.
Yeah.
So
sorry,
never heard of it.
I bought 6 vials one time to avoid doing a starter.
Yeah.
on a lager.
Sure.
Yeah,
nice work. Oh, on a lager.
Yeah.
Nice work.
I learned the multi-tube pitch from him.
From Graham.
Because I was in there bitching about, I missed my window about doing this starter and this and this. He rolls up and just goes on the table, goes, just throw that in there.
Yeah, shut up about it.
Well, granted, Doc's the guy who's texted me saying, I think I forgot to pitch because he was too drunk.
Yeah.
I brewed and then forgot to add yeast.
We've heard that.
But in all good conscience, I went out there to look, and there was 2 Erlenmeyers empty. So I must have
when were they added, Doc? When were they added?
You drank it. We're out of alcohol.
This beer's really under attenuated.
Yeah.
I've got diarrhea.
Are you talking about Imperial? Is that the organic yeast?
Yes.
Okay. Never heard of it. We have White Labs.
I told you, we're a White Labs house.
And granted, I'm a White Labs junkie. You asked me what the main yeast is.
We all do, I know. Yeah.
But now it's 200. I'm all about 200.
Oh, nice.
No shit. That's 199 difference.
Is that the blend?
Yes.
Right.
Which blend of what?
Best of both worlds.
We don't know.
01 and 02.
Oh, it is?
But it's not 50-50.
Oh, right. Of course.
A little insight information.
Interesting. Okay. That's your new go-to.
I don't know what we're talking about. What's
Yeast.
200?
WL 200.
WLP.
What's the combination of
Get it right.
Is that like a proprietary? Is it a more beer strain?
It is a more beer.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Best of both worlds.
Okay.
That's cool.
Sell a lot at the shop?
Yep.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. All right. So pitch a lot.
What do you experience when you use that yeast? Why would I use that?
That's what I love about it is it's fast.
Oh, fast.
High attenuation, but great flocculation.
That's good.
Hence the name, Best of Both Worlds.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
why not?
It's
really.
English and Cal blended together, but at the right ratio that you get a little bit of both.
You've tweaked it.
Right.
Nice.
So the heavy flocculation tendencies of 002 help bind with the 001 that ferments fast, and then they just all drop out at the end.
Bing.
Great.
Now, the 2 tends to give
You've
you
used
a
it,
slightly maltier beer.
Homebrew scale, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, that English character might get that maltier.
Here, I get that as well.
Okay.
So Beardy, is it different homebrew scale major scale where you guys are?
Well, I don't know. I've never used it professionally. So.
No.
Or are you talking Mixolydian scale, or what do we...
Well, I mean, I prefer Iodian, but, whatever.
Potato.
Location.
All right, so pitch a lot. Next?
Yep.
Appropriate.
Proper oxygenation.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much.
So breathing into it.
Yeah, maybe a little more.
I do it
Maybe
every
you
time.
want to filter it.
Yeah, I do it every time.
Yeah.
All right, so lots of O2, but not too much.
The proper.
By the way, I have to admit, I hate this piece of advice. And not because it's not good, but because no one can ever say how much. Because we can't measure it as homebrewers.
You can.
We always say
Right,
a lot,
that's wrong.
but not.
You can.
We can? How?
Dissolved oxygen meter.
Okay. So I have to
If
buy
you
a
have
dissolved.
20 grand.
Yes.
Right.
No, you don't want to buy the cheap
And
one.
usually
Right.
So again, as a home brewer, I can't
No,
measure it. So I get this advice that says do a lot of oxygen, but not too much. What the fuck does that mean?
Well, you can buy a regulator, an oxygen regulator that distributes it not based on PSI, but like liters per minute. And then you can just use time and your liters per minute setting.
Okay.
And then you can actually do a somewhat measured oxygen delivery into the beer.
As long as you have the right temperature.
Right, yeah, knowing your temperature.
But to Justin, that just means some.
Right. That does require not drinking most of the day, probably, to figure that out.
Well, I'm
by
sure
the end of your brew
Beersmith
day.
would figure it out for me.
How about this? Don't waste your money.
Okay.
Do 60 seconds per 5 gallons.
Okay.
Done.
All right, that's what I'm
Good
looking
rule
for.
of thumb.
Some measurement. 60 seconds per 5 gallons. Okay, I like it. Good enough. Now I don't hate the advice anymore.
I'm glad I made you happy.
Yeah, if you get good ferments from that, then don't change a thing.
Okay. All right. What's next?
Then after that, it's about, and hopefully you chose this before you brewed, but what are you going to clarify it with? Because that can make a huge world of difference.
Okay.
You got your basic Carrageen, your Irish Moss, your Whirlfloc, Kick, Carrageen, all of those.
Well, I started back in the boil, right? Like I threw some Whirlfloc in the boil. That's pretty much in
That's why I said it's like you're planning.
Sometimes you forget. Right. It's on your list.
Yeah, and sometimes you do forget. And so there's biofine, gelatin, PVPP, all of those.
Time.
And there's time, but time's not my friend. at this
Exactly,
point.
right.
Yeah.
So
Gravity.
using these.
It's also carpet.
There is, but it's not very effective if you want to drink the beer. Yeah.
But like I use gelatin periodically, and it's amazing. That'll knock 4 or 5 days off my brew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easier than filtering and pretty quick. Doesn't the gelatin work like overnight, right? You just throw it in, the next day you're clear?
It works pretty well. Yeah, if you do it right. Yeah, it works really good.
Okay.
I've used it for a long time, and
You should use the microphone
It's,
a long
it's very
time, too.
tried and true. I've used it for a long time. It's almost foolproof, and it does clear it up really fast.
Okay.
I do like Biofine though.
No, Biofine's great too. And to throw a pitch to White Labs, Clarity Firm.
Never heard of
it. Very nice. Saccharomyces and Clarity Fine, put both of those in. Or Clarity Firm, sorry.
Yeah.
Great products, fast, and great results.
And virtually gluten-free. Your resulting beer.
Virtually.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Biofine, I've noticed that you really have to do a good job of shaking the conical or whatever fermenter it is in order to get it really mixed in.
Okay.
I don't know if gelatin, I haven't used gelatin on a home scale before, and so I don't know if you have the same mixing issues, but Biofine, you can, if you just dump it in the top and let it sit, you're not going to get clear beer.
Okay.
But if you mix it thoroughly, next day you'll have clear beer.
Well, I like to take 90-barrel fermenters and just swirl them a little bit.
Right. I mean, when you don't bolt them down to the ground, it's real easy. You just start pushing it real slow, and it
When
gets
they're
rocking
bolted down,
real
you use
good.
the forklift.
Right.
Turn the wheel all the way to the right and hit the gas.
Right. Well, you back up against it. You don't want to poke holes in it with the forks.
Right.
So you back up against the fermenter and just start pushing.
That's funny. I had the gelatin when I racked the kegs, and then one of the things I do is I'll rack to the keg, top it off with CO2 and high pressure, get a good seal. Then I'll turn the keg upside down for like an hour.
Oh yeah.
Do that with your fancy 120 barrel.
Flip that upside down, bitches.
Yeah.
Try that.
Well, at Heretic, we would carbonate after. We'd add the Biofine before and use carbonation through the bottom, and it would just stir everything in.
Dual purpose.
Right.
Saves time.
See?
Saves
time.
Okay. All right. I like it. All right. So now we're clarifying.
Yep. So, well, we're clarified, but that's one of the pre-choices you're going to make before you ferment.
Okay.
But one of the other two things that are super handy during the process of fermentation is a refractometer is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then a product I love called the Beer Bug.
Oh, yeah.
And just graphically going online and seeing where my fermentation is. Because there's nothing that's going to shorten your brew day or a brew session like knowing where your gravity is at all times.
So what is the Beer Bug?
It's a device that you put on top of your fermenter. It floats down in, measures the gravity, and plots it online for you.
Okay. So you just always check on it. You know exactly what's happening.
Yeah, you can do it from your smartphone, the web.
Rad. It's really cool.
Okay. Yeah, you tried it out, didn't you?
Yeah,
I did too. It was great.
How did your efficiency at More Beer go down as you had the beer bug? Because you were just watching that instead of actually making decisions.
Well, yeah, I have my employees working up beer bugs, too.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of weird.
So everyone stopped working and instead of just watching their fermentation all day.
Yeah.
JP, weren't you doing the beer bug
I have one.
thing?
Yeah.
And how'd that go?
And Tasty did one, too.
Yeah, I did. It was great. I use it for my lagering thing, so I didn't have to go downstairs where fermenter is.
It was great because like right now, what I didn't do is set it up for the Brewcaster Challenge at Moscow and I are doing.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm like, well, shit, I have to take a sample to make sure that it's actually done. But with Beer Bug, it'll tell you if it's done. You don't have to open the fermenter and expose it to oxygen or contaminations of any kind or anything like that.
That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, mine is, I think, finished fermenting, but I think it might have just kind of crapped out, and it would be perfect because I'm afraid to open the carboy.
For you, I would open the carboy and check.
For sure. Take it outside on a windy day.
Breathe very heavily as you're doing it.
Cough into it.
Don't ever close it again afterwards either.
All right, duly noted.
Okay. Beer Bug, I like it. That's a nice gadget to keep abreast of things.
Simple, and at first I was like, And then I used it, and I'm like, oh, my God.
Okay.
That's simple.
Does it do temperature and gravity and everything else?
Yeah, it does two different types of temperature. So if you're going to buy one, just know that you can get one where it's measuring the air that flows through it, or you can buy an external temperature which hooks in and goes into your beer and measures the actual beer itself.
Okay. Got it. So you need the probe to get down in there. Okay.
But
probes usually get down in there.
It's the same show it ever was.
I thought this classed it up when we were in a
No. We're ready to go. We just want to see where you're going with it.
Yeah. By the way, your invoice is going up 500%.
Right.
Yeah.
We have to raise it.
Per dick joke.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's still a sponsor next week.
Well, it's not a problem.
That's why you guys haven't had me on.
Yeah, we don't want you to know what's happening. You thought we would have evolved by now.
We have to save you.
Yeah. All right, what do we got next?
Now we're going to go into packaging and aging.
Okay.
So pretty simple. We're going to choose between bottling or kegging. Guess which one's faster?
Kegging.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good guess.
It's lazier, too.
50-50.
It is the lazy choice, and that's why I do it.
Yeah, okay.
So bottling's great. It's fine. It's cheap, but it takes you an extra couple weeks because you got to mature in the bottle.
Not just that, but even on the day of, with the sanitizing of all those individual bottles instead of just one vessel. So it's not just
I'm so anal retentive. I don't think it's a savings.
You know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And the risk of bombs happening, exploding bottles.
Yeah.
No, but time I'm talking about. I'm saying that on the day of bottling, that's a time-consuming thing.
I don't know why kegging takes me as long as it does, and I clean my keg while I boil, so I'm at least using my time wisely. But I take forever to clean a keg.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Because I like to
now.
actually make sure it's clean.
Yeah, but that's not. It's still faster than 40 bottles.
Well, if you think about it, a keg is one bottle.
Yeah.
Right?
So even if you do take your sweet ass time,
but I get my bottles new and for free.
But still, you have to dip each one in a thing and then put it on
need to clean it and sanitize it,
and then you have to dip each. Graham, there's no way it takes you as long to keg.
You should see me keg. It takes a while. I'm not going to lie there.
Okay.
Well, the bottling always made me put it off. To the point where
I quit homebrewing four times.
I can't do it today. I'm going to do it tomorrow because it's a big thing.
Yes.
No. I seriously,
Agreed.
Doc, I quit brewing because of bottling.
Yeah.
Really?
And then I joined it again because I can't quit anything. I had alcohol. I'm not going to quit it.
Right.
Yeah. I'm no quitter.
I only bottled using my Blickman beer gun. I kegged from the beginning. I mean, whenever I had to bottle, just had the beer gun and just...
Oh, you never had to old school bottle, huh?
I did it for fun about 3 times, and I was like, yep, this is why I never did it.
Oh, wow. I did it for years because I couldn't justify that cost.
With the old tube that had all this stuff I got for more beer with the little plastic spring at the bottom.
It leaked all over the place.
Every time. I mean, it worked, right? I was happy as a clam then. It was my new thing, right?
And then you had to wait 2 weeks.
Yeah, the 2 week wait.
Yeah.
Right. 2 week wait what drove me nuts.
At the time, I told my wife that, it's cheaper if I make it at home. And since I paid the credit card, she didn't know that there was a cheaper option than kegging.
Yeah. We didn't go over the fastest way to brew yet.
Exactly.
Right.
That's called Costco beer line.
Yes.
The thing that sent me over was those big 5-gallon kegs. Where are you going to put it? You can't talk the wife into putting that into the refrigerator.
Oh, you can't, Doc?
Right. So you need a new vessel.
Yeah, but it was Chris that says, we got these little kegs, and they fit right in the refrigerator, and I could talk her into that one right into that part. Yeah, the Scotties.
The 2.5?
Yeah. And
I never even tried to fit one of those.
I didn't even know they existed until he brought that up.
Yeah.
And then that's
it's my fault.
But that's when I got into kegging because it was easier to get it in the refrigerator.
Sure.
I didn't have to buy a whole new refrigerator. I could get that in there.
Okay. Good call. That's good advice because I think a lot of people do have to think about that. When you look at the kegging system, now you have to have a place to put that 5-gallon keg.
Right. My wife never went in the garage, so one day she went down and there was like, wait, there are 3 refrigerators and a chest freezer in here.
And you're like, how did those get there?
It was here when we moved in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I swear those don't take power.
Right.
They barely
These
use
are
anything.
not the fridges you're
They're
looking for.
practically LED refrigerators. They hardly take anything.
They're all green.
Right. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
All right, so kegging is the way to go.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can, even on packaging day, and then, of course, the carbonation time it's quick.
You can do it quick.
Yeah, you can...
you can screw it up quick, but you can do it quick.
You can put it up to 30 pounds and shake it.
So go to morebeer.com/kegging.
Okay.
Download my PDF. Don't call me. Don't email me. Don't tell me your beer is overcarbonated and foaming.
Mm-hmm.
Because
follow the instructions.
2 different ways to carbonate your beer: forced carbonation over pressure, or forced carbonation over time.
Okay.
They both work the same. STP, standard temperature and pressure.
Okay.
So if you really, really need your beer in a hurry.
Yes, I do.
You fermented it on Friday, you fermented it by Tuesday, and you got to serve it by Friday.
Yeah.
So 1 week turnaround. I've done it.
Okay.
Weddings, especially. So you're going to brew that beer that's not exceptionally hoppy, not exceptionally malty, not exceptionally anything.
But it's beer.
It's called free beer for someone else.
It's beer that your friend asked you to make for their wedding.
It's not even exceptional.
You're not making a double IPA in a week.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you want to carbonate that fast, the best way, in my opinion, to do it, get your beer cold. Put it in the keg, get it cold overnight. Grab a exercise ball if someone's got one of those cheesy. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we all
Big
exercise all the time.
Yeah. We don't, but our girlfriends' wives do.
Yeah.
Statuesque.
Yeah.
That's what we all are.
I have that thing that annoys me. It's in the corner. It's called an exercise ball. I don't touch it.
Yeah.
It's there. But when you put my keg on there, 5 gallons, and I bounce it up and down, that keg just keeps bouncing. Like
Nice. God damn it, you are the laziest person I've ever met. I love it.
No, it's called genius.
Sorry, yes.
He hired a day laborer to actually place the keg on the exercise ball.
Right. God, I didn't hire them until it got bouncing. And I wanted to save
Just
a
to
few
oversee
bucks.
it.
Yes, I'm cheap and lazy.
No, what a good idea. It bounces for you.
No. So you can use one of those anyway. On my PDF, I describe how to do it properly that way. But that's one of the better ways because you don't end up cranking it to 30, 40 PSI.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, it's almost inevitable that you're going to end up with overcarbonation at least one of the 10 times you do that.
So you just keep it at the standard PSI.
Well, you hedge your bet. You bring it over it, but you don't go like 4 times it.
Okay. PDF my ass, JP. We got to get over and film him with his exercise ball keg technique.
Of course we do.
need a video of Chris Graham doing this.
Let's do it. It's a shake weight, basically.
It's a giant shake weight. He's just
Why don't you
right
get
to
on
the
the
face.
exercise ball?
He's just bouncing on the ball right
Put
to
the
the
keg
face.
over your head.
Mike, no, that would be a lot of work.
We really do need to follow Chris Graham on a brew day.
Yes, we do.
Well, the other way is...
It would be the most boring thing you've ever seen.
It'd be the most uncomfortable, like awkward.
No, JP has watched me brew.
We don't want you to talk or anything. We just want to film the techniques.
But like Chris on the microphones and Chris off the microphones are very different people.
Yeah.
Oh, can we put him in a unitard?
Yes. I say yes.
It's a required uniform.
Have you ever guys...
Safety. You don't want anything getting caught.
Have you guys ever taken the beer for a ride in the car?
No.
That does it too.
No, I've done that. When I've been traveling to an event, I remember traveling down to the Firestone Walker Invitational and having a beer that was undercarbonated. So I just put it on pressure.
Crank it up.
And drove.
A higher pressure and then drove down there.
Excellent idea. Yeah. Okay.
It's one way to get kids to go to sleep and carbonate
That's why I thought you would know how to do that one.
If you don't have the exercise ball,
shut the fuck up and carbonate.
Yeah, double whammy.
And then, Chris, the other way I think you're going to mention is the standard pressure over a longer period of time.
And let's just say we're going to shave all this time off your brew day. We're going to shave some time off your fermentation. And let's let your goddamn beer maturate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be ready.
And let it go at a standard temperature and pressure. And let's go for 7 to 10 days and age properly and actually taste decent so your friends don't go, what the... I don't like homebrew.
Whoa. I don't have time for that.
Homebrew?
Yeah.
Well, and I think that most of the questions about speeding up the process are about brew day anyway. So I think you're right. If we're able to save all this time on brew day and time away from the family, the rest you're with the family while the stuff's carbonating.
I was going to say, if it's carbonating for 2 weeks, who cares?
Right. Yeah. If you're thirsty, that's another thing.
I can still drink it. It's kegged.
Yeah.
I draw off what I need.
Yes, I've drank my...
I said need.
Right.
I have drank my share of flat homebrew off the keg waiting. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. You have to. It's a rule.
Well,
that's why I always shook it, so that way 45 minutes later I'm ready to drink it.
Things right the first time and nobody else did. Shut the fuck up!
Well,
I did shake it too for the same reason.
The one thing I did learn.
Shut the fuck up, Beardy.
Yeah.
Here's how I did everything right the first time. I never bottled. I always beer gunned it.
Can I just clarify the
Beardy's not done yet.
I never started, so I was just waiting for JP to stop.
The beard hasn't finished moving yet.
All right, whenever you're ready.
In your own time.
Right.
I think we all need a minute.
Okay, ready, go.
Okay. I always shook it.
Shut up, Beardy.
Yeah, all right.
Didn't we fire Beardy? You always shook it, yeah. To get there fast.
Right, to get there fast. But one lesson I did learn is if you want your security deposit back on your rental, is always shake it, the keg, because it leaves a mark on the rubber bottom of your corny keg. Will leave a mark on the floor. And so I ruined a couple floors with
shake
some
it
black
outside
marks.
or on a towel.
Get some, put something down on the floor.
It's called an exercise ball.
That's
right.
I never had the exercise ball because I'm a fatty. So
right, we saw your magazine cover. We know.
You can also put it on the dryer. As the dryer's running, you put a blanket down, it goes.
Interesting.
It works great.
Never thought of that. All right, that's automation.
That's
right
a
there.
new one for me.
Yeah,
you don't need to shake it quite.
You didn't put your kid in the
No, Doc. We don't talk out loud about these things.
Right. We're parents. We talk offline about that.
You're a parent too?
No. God, no.
The empirical we.
That you know of.
Nobody had parents.
Talking about the other we.
Is that why Daniela visits all the time?
The royal we. Yeah, so I can see how our child is doing.
That's how you noticed that.
My little German child. He does look a lot like me.
I feel like an Italian German.
I was just going to say that's a real cute kid. He doesn't look
It does look a lot like me, yeah. All right. So now we're carbonated. Are we done? Did we make fast beer?
We can drink.
Did we do it?
Now we can drink.
And you better drink it fast, goddammit.
Yeah. Yes.
I just want to clarify why it's better to leave it on the CO2 for 2 weeks. Why is that so much better than shaking?
So maturation has to do a lot with the compounds that are going on during that time frame. The chemical processes that are changing the beer. So cold aging in that time frame is going to make huge leaps and bounds of what the yeast is going to reabsorb, what flavor profiles are going to come out, what yeast is going to settle out and clarify in the beer.
So a new beer is you're going to be able to taste the components of alcohol, malt, and yeast. In mature beer, they're going to be melded together into its final product.
So it's about the time then. So if I left it cold, not carbonated, or not on CO2, I just left it in the fridge cold, and then I carved it after it matured for whatever 2 weeks. It's the same difference?
Same answer. The problem you'd run into there is, one, you left it risky. You left it uncarbonated so you're not making a positive pressure.
Oh, I see.
So that your lid could sit down, oxygen could come in, bacteria, all those nasty little bits.
And there's some sediment forming in the bottom, which you're going to shake up.
And why not put it on pressure?
Right.
Why do that extra work at the end?
Sitting in the fridge anyway, put it on CO2.
Yeah.
And the concentration of those things affects how long it takes to mature, too. Like a mild or a low alcohol beer will mature and be ready to drink way faster than an Imperial IPA or even like a barley wine like you guys are doing. Yeah. It's quicker turnaround time for the low alcohol beers.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. That should be your first thing. You need to brew beer fast, weddings, whatever. Choose a low alcohol beer. Yeah. Don't be like, I want to do a quad.
Yeah, but what you and Olin have said from 20 years is they like to put it on and just let it go for 2 weeks at this temperature and this pressure, and it comes out exactly what you want. Not under and not over carbonated. And you get the maturation at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Doc looked at me a little crazy when I said that first time.
No, I kind of did, but...
And then I tried his Hefeweizen. I've never had a 9% Hefeweizen before.
Oh, they came rolling in... him and Olin came rolling in on their mountain bikes, and they were thirsty.
Again, exercising.
Yeah.
And coming off the back 40 off of me. And
by your house.
Called
and so hey, here's some refreshing Hefeweizen.
At 9%. Yeah, the ride back was easier.
Yeah.
Or harder, I don't know.
So what do you think I should do for my high gravity barley wine? Should I leave it on CO2 in the keg room temp? We're drinking it sooner than it's going to be ready to.
Well, first off, why are you trying to make a barley wine fast?
Because
that is a good question.
Because I decided that's what their challenge should be.
Self-imposed time restraints for a competition.
So I would get that cold as fast as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would carbonate it because it's then more stable.
Cold
and carbonated, because then it's off-gassing. It's pressing out.
But it would be if it were room temp too, right? Sitting on CO2, but not in the fridge.
Cold.
Okay, but all right.
The cold helps.
Cold CO2 goes into solution better at cold temperatures.
But also, it's not only that. It's first off, cold helps maturation.
Yeah.
It makes it go faster. You settle things out faster. You stop processes instantly. And then two, when you make CO2, guys.
I love making CO2.
When you exhale,
you
make CO2.
I made it.
I'm going to make it right now.
When you have a keg properly pressurized, you are now in a safe environment. Your seals are all pressurized, and you don't run the risk of a lid dropping or anything like that.
By the way, you know how I know JP stopped listening? He's not yelling at you for getting advice on your competition brew right now.
Totally.
So he has no idea that
you guys don't want me to say what's on JP's computer right now. I mean, literally, you don't want me to describe what I see on there.
True.
Adam and Eve's a sponsor.
Wieners.
It's fine.
Triple wiener. The whole thing.
All right. Right now, caller number 5 is going to get a refractometer and a More Beer $25 gift certificate combo. 888-401-BEER. Bevo is ready for your calls right now. 888-401-BEER. Caller number 5.
What happened to the first thing?
We gave it away to caller number 10. I didn't want to talk to him.
We didn't put him on the air?
No, Bevo took care of it. Yeah, I don't want to talk to these people anymore.
I'm drinking more. We have more things to give away.
We got more things to give away. Here's what we're going to do. We're done making our fast beer, though, now, right?
No, we've made it.
All right. Then
that was quick.
Are we drunk yet?
We're going to take a break.
Oh, we haven't fast drank yet.
We didn't fast drink.
That involves cake stands,
and
right?
we have a list for what we're doing for the show, so no problem. We can drink because we know it's written down.
Correct.
We know what
it's
we're doing.
Thank you, Scott. Absolutely. All right. 888-401-BEER. Plus, we have more to give away. You guys want to take our dinner break now?
Yes.
All right. We'll take a dinner break, so we'll be back in a few. For you live listeners, for you podcasts, you won't know the difference. We'll be back in just a few minutes. So hang in there. It's the session. We're talking to our good friend Chris Graham from More Beer. We got more to give away. You podcasters are going to get to play along as well, but we also got another caller giveaway to do. Hang in there. It's the session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
A few things happened 30 years ago
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
Say hello to my little friend.
You've heard about White Labs Pure Pitch yeast. Pure Pitch is yeast grown right in its final packaging. That means yeast that has never been exposed to the environment. And White Labs Pure Pitch yeast for homebrewers is now available to everyone at homebrew retailers nationwide. Easy to use, perfectly sized, and ready to pitch. White Labs yeast packaged using their Flex Cell process ensures the purest yeast on the market. Visit whitelabs.com to learn more about Pure Pitch, Flex Cell technology, and how it's created. Then visit a homebrew retailer near you for your own perfectly sized package of Pure Pitch yeast. And you can say hello to your own little friend. www.whitelabs.com.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
Yep. Welcome back to the program. Just had some wonderful food out there at the break.
Our catering has been upgraded.
We now have, I know you guys, I know you think that I complain about how we haven't really moved up in the world after all these years. We have fancier digs, but most things haven't changed.
Wait, I haven't been here in how long?
But it's been since 2009 or something? Is that what it was? Which sounds impossible.
Do you remember what I used to get at your house?
So now,
Domino's.
We now have a Brewing Network chef. All right, I don't want to brag or anything, but we kind of have a Brewing Network chef who is very sweet to us and brings us this amazing food all the time. Rachel, you have to say your last name for me because I will screw it up.
It's Rachel Zavala.
It's Zavala. Okay, it's spelt like Zavarella.
Yes.
But
Z's and zebra, AB's and Victoria.
Zavala. And Rachel is a local chef here in the Bay Area who's doing really wonderful things. And I met you here through the Hop Grenade, but you've known some of us, Tasty and others, for longer.
Tasty's my bestie.
He's your bestie.
That's true.
And you were kind enough, one day you just said, hey, you know what? I'm going to bring in some food. I hope you like it. I'm just bringing that. And now you're feeding us all the time like a wonderful woman.
Well,
to be clear, Bevo did a great job when she was buying us food.
Round Table, I've enjoyed it as well.
And you're not even barefoot or nothing.
You're not even.
I don't get it.
But no, I work at a 20 tap gastropub over in Danville, and we're very beer focused.
What's it called?
The Growler.
The Growler. That's right. Yeah.
And I'm very interested in beer and food and how that all works together. So we've been doing a lot of that recently, and so it's very exciting to be a part of your guys' world where beer is on its own a really big thing. But for me, food is my thing, and let's be honest, I worked at some very high end restaurants at Perbaco in San Francisco and Park Tavern, and for me, when I go out to dinner, I don't want to switch to wine when I get my steak. I don't want to switch to wine when I get my dessert. I want to drink beer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's really important to me to understand the way beer and food plays with one another, and so that's my focus in my
those pastrami sandwiches played great with everything.
Yeah, those Reubens.
I don't even know what I
great.
got in my glass, but it's good.
Well,
you've been so
nice
good
IPA
to us, and you're such a great chef. You're such a talented chef. You are about to be on a television show.
Yes, I'm about to be on Chopped, so I'm very excited about that.
Awesome.
I know, and they've actually asked me. We've done several beer pairing dinners. We just did one with Fieldwork. We're doing one with Highwater, and they've asked me to make a couple of the dishes that we're doing with Highwater. And Tasty's going to be there. He's my planted customer at the bar.
Oh, I see. To get the shot.
Yeah, to get the shot.
He's pretty good at that. I'm not blowing smoke either. We had him eat a sandwich once on one of our videos, and he knows how to do it.
That was great direction there, too. Maybe we need a director.
I don't know. Justin, you want to come
I'll
on
come
Saturday
down. I know how
shooting my bio?
I speak his language. I know how he works.
It's hard to eat a sandwich?
It takes a lot of hot dogs.
On camera, it actually is.
Oh.
It was a hot dog, I think, too.
Yeah, lots of mustard.
It was sort of a phallic kind of thing going, too, there.
It was
That's what I like. That's why my blog is called The Sausage Whisperer.
Perfect. So we can go. So folks can go to thesausagewhisperer.com and check out Rachel's blog.
Adam and Eve.
I blocked That's a category, I think.
What?
More beer.
I want to know where you've been for the last 10 years of our lives.
I know, right?
I've been playing with sausage, of course.
Practicing.
Oh, that was you.
Well, again, you're very talented, and you've been so kind to us. So thanks we're so happy to have you around. And I think right now the Hop Grenade is also working on getting some of her food in here on the menu, which we're really excited about. Some of you
I'm a
are
classically trained charcutier.
A charcutier, which
so when I say I'm the sausage whisperer, I mean it's funny, but it's also true.
Those of you who listen know the special place in my heart I have for charcuterie. And when I met Rachel, she's like, "Oh yeah, I can do that. I'm trained."
I'm constantly trying to put my sausage in Justin's mouth.
Yeah, yes, and it works.
And he's always like, "Yes, please."
Yeah, like it's a battle. Right. I just walk around with my mouth open.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have some of Rachel's stuff here on the menu at the Hop Grenade, or of course you can go down to the Growler in Danville and try our food there.
And they do have I consult for the Barrel Room in San Francisco, so they also have some of my products as well.
Okay. Well, thank you again. Thanks for coming and talking to us.
Thank you guys for enjoying the spread,
Oh, such good food, too. We come in here we were never very happy after our dinner break before, and now we come back in here really happy.
Bevo did a great job.
Yeah, she did a nice job. But Bevo, listen, because Bevo is on, my budget, so she there's not much she could do to make it better.
We were limited.
And
I really do sort of give it as a gift of love. I would charge anybody else a lot more.
I know. Believe me, I know.
It's mostly for Tasty.
He's a good man. That's why we keep him around, for the perks that we get for having him around. down.
Every time it's like a surprise.
It is.
Wow, again?
Yeah.
Yay.
It's a surprise in our mouths.
She's just holding back.
Thanks, Rachel.
Not for long, though.
Oh, my God.
All right. So a couple more things we got to get to, and I wanted to wrap up our segment with Chris Graham here by asking you, Graham, we didn't talk too much about equipment or other things, so I just wanted to give you the opportunity to throw in anything else that might make our brew day easier and faster.
All right. For all of you who are lazy like I am, there are two pieces of... Whoa. Two pieces
Get
of
up on the mic,
equipment.
Graham. Up on the mic.
I was told to get up on the mic.
There you go.
Several times.
Not that mic.
So, hey, Mike. Two pieces of equipment that can pretty much revolutionize your brew day. For me, the Braumeister, simple but yet effective, takes care of my entire brew day for me. And then the second one...
Wait. So that, just for anyone who doesn't know, that's the one that's like an all-in-one... It's almost one vessel, right? Is it a one-vessel brew system?
It's close to one vessel.
Okay,
It's got a vessel with a sleeve in it.
Okay.
And then even better is the Pico Brew.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, literally push a button. You don't even have to do it in person. You can do it on your phone.
Oh, man.
And get it going.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm glad that you mentioned that because JP and Beardy actually had the chance last week.
Last Monday.
To go out to Seattle to the Pico Brew headquarters.
Yeah.
And now we know about the Pico Brew, which was their 2.5 gallon automated brew system, and it all kind of works on your countertop. You can do it in an apartment. In fact, I've been to Chris Graham's tiny office at More Beer, and he had his Pico Brew rocking in the office.
Yeah.
The office is small, weighs like half the size of this studio.
No water.
And you were brewing in your office on the Pico Brew.
Yeah.
So now they've launched a new one, right?
Yeah, it's called the Pico.
Okay.
So the Pico Brew is the company. The Zymatic is the unit.
The Zymatic, thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And so the Pico is a 1.3 gallon system that's designed for. It's kind of like the Keurig of beer makers.
Okay.
So you go on the brewer marketplace, which is going to be like an Amazon.com or like an app store essentially, and you're going to see all these little thumbnails of everybody's beers, and they're partnering with a lot of craft brewers, Dogfish Head, Rogue, up in Sacramento like Track 7. So a lot of national brands, but also a lot of regional brands as well, as a way just to kind of break that barrier of, I can only, as a small brewer, can only get my beer to Shangri-La or wherever, I don't know, wherever the fuck, Ohio.
Shangri-La, Ohio. It's a great place.
Right, yeah. Right.
It's a
Lots of people living there.
lovely town.
Right, yes.
It's right next to Akron.
The climate's kind of weird. I can only do that through a distributor, but now through the Pico marketplace, you have your kit. They have their kit in there, and this person, you can brew the same exact beer that they want you to be brewing. You can effectively taste a craft brewer's beer without having to have it go through all the travel and
because you can brew the recipe. So they're
you
putting
can brew the recipe. So you purchase it and it comes in a little packet. It's like
a pre-packaged insert.
It's a pre-packaged insert. It's made right now. It's made of sugarcane pulp. And it's biodegradable or whatever, and that may change. There's still
the packaging is made of sugarcane pulp.
Still very much
it's biodegradable. Everything. You just compost it.
It's still very much in dev phase.
So better than the Keurig, because the biggest problem with the Keurig is that there's now an Atlantic Ocean full of Keurig cups.
Right, they don't really go away. But this whole thing biodegrades, and so you have the hops in there already, and they're like in a tea bag material. That'll break.
Same old show.
That'll break down. And so you put it in, and the machine will detect whatever packet you're putting in there, whatever brew you're wanting to make.
Oh.
So it'll auto-detect right away whatever you're going to brew.
You don't have to adjust the settings, you mean?
No. You don't have to go punch in a recipe. So now on the Zymatic, it will load the recipes that you load based on your brewing library. But this way, it knows maybe just from what how you order, or something. I don't know exactly how. And it'll start brewing, and you hit start, and you can actually dial it in a little bit more. You can dial in if you want a little bit. You can dial the hoppiness the bitterness, right?
Okay.
Or the alcohol level.
Interesting.
So
I can always max out on.
You can max out on the alcohol. Dial it, and I don't necessarily know. I imagine
11.
it's boil time or
smaller volume.
Mash temperature. Like you can adjust the alcohol versus maltiness, like how thick the beer feels, like mouthfeel.
Or I can leave it alone, right? I can just
you can just have it and don't touch it.
Or you can turn it to 11.
Right.
Yes, which is
and
clearly
it'll
what
just
I
be
will do.
dialed into whatever that brewer wants you to be making.
So a couple of things here is I know that the Brewing Network, we're going to do a line of our own recipes.
Yeah,
that
actually,
will be available there.
I have some artwork.
Oh, yeah?
Some mock-up artwork.
Really?
If you want to see it, dude.
Sure. Do I have to sue anybody? Or no, I think I allowed
No.
I think I allowed them to use it.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that Tasty's going to do some recipes for them. Did I get that right, Tasty?
I have been approached for that, yes.
Okay, well, that might happen. And so this is cool. So you get to brew our beers on the Pico. All right, so that's the
unit
little
right there.
Pico. That's the Pico. Oh, well, that's sexy.
And so you brew and serve into these little like 2-gallon kegs.
I'm looking
and have
at
a little
it,
wrap
and-
over it, and it's like you go to Bevmo and you get like the Paul Anner, or now they have Newcastle and Heineken or whatever, and the little tab where you pull out the tap at the bottom.
It's that.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they're
man.
reusable.
And it's going to have our logo on it too.
Yeah, I mean, we can, and we have a hand obviously in whatever we want to design.
You bet
with
your
it.
ass we do.
Yeah. So it's dude, it's gonna be pretty. It's been really. It's really awesome. So we get there up in Seattle after a hard day of drinking, which is amazing. And they have a giant facility. They have their own machine shop.
Oh, really?
And they're making little silicone molds for gaskets and doing all this kind of shit. And they had to do the Pico. They had to basically redesign the entire system. It's not just a smaller Zymatic.
That's what I was going to ask. I thought maybe it would just be the same technology.
No, it's not. And so they have these. They have the Pico brewing. They're brewing. Annie was saying like 30 batches a week.
The little Pico.
The little Pico for the past 2 or 3 months, trying to get in how much water they're actually making sure their water usage is consistent, grain absorption, all the kind of stuff that we have to figure out on the homebrew level.
Yeah,
they're trying to figure out to make sure it's absolutely consistent.
This is what happens when you get a tech company, or a tech-minded company, doing devices like this, rather than just sort of the equipment
As
looks
I
good.
just mentioned, 20 years of doing this, I'm like, maybe you're going to get this.
They're even paying attention down to the water makeup. For the Pico, they want you to put in distilled water because they're doing mineral additions in the pack.
Are you kidding?
So it's down to that level of detail. It's very impressive. And they're doing tests like 6 brews a day to make and testing and weighing out everything, doing mineral addition tests and everything.
Where's all that beer going?
They're drinking it.
Oh yeah,
good.
They have 4 stand-up fridges.
That makes me happy.
And it's 2 gallons, a gallon and a half. But the coolest part, one of the coolest parts, you walk into the thing and you're in their R&D department, and so they have a bunch of these Pico machines. Here it is without the shell on it.
Okay.
They're still deving it. So they have an active Kickstarter campaign. So if you want to kind of get in on the ground floor, you get a couple units on with a good deal. Check out their Kickstarter thing.
So the Pico unit's not available for purchase right now, but
Not
it's
yet.
available through the Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah.
So what do you do? I just have to go to Kickstarter and Google Pico?
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
And you essentially buy a Pico, pre-order it through the Kickstarter.
Support the machines.
Oh man! And true to their form, if you recall, the first Kickstarter that they did for the Zymatic, I think they wanted $150,000, I believe, and they raised about 900 or so.
Okay. I think they were the second fastest Kickstarter funding out there.
Yeah,
wow,
that sounds right. This one, I don't know if it's breaking records or what. They wanted $200,000 for this one, and they're up to 736.
Guess how many hours? Guess how many hours it took to get fully funded for that?
How many?
24?
8.
Wow. No, it did not.
Dude, so it launched at 6 in the morning.
Our marketing's really good.
And they're like, you guys don't have to be
You
there
might
till
want to
8.
charge more for that part, not the more beer part.
They can afford it.
Like I said, your invoice is going up. And they're like, okay, we went out hard last night. You guys can come in at 8. And we're like, fuck you, 8. That's really early. But okay, whatever. We're there.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. In 2 hours, they already had almost $70,000.
That's incredible.
At 6 in the morning.
While we were there, they fully funded their entire thing. People are really stoked about this, and they should be. It's
exciting.
It's really great.
In their spare time, somehow they figured out how to wire up a little motorized hammer that would bang on a keg every time someone bought a Pico brew on the Kickstarter.
Pretty cool.
And so there was like a bang, like coming from the lobby every time someone bought something on Kickstarter.
How much is the Pico if I go on Kickstarter right now? Do we know?
That's a great
500,
question.
I believe.
They sold out super quick. Of like they had one. Well, that was the first tier, and then that sold out, and then they did a 600 tier.
They have a few tiers. I think you can get 2 for like $1,800 or something.
That's
I'm not
3.
entirely sure.
3 for
2 for a kid.
3 for that much.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it looks like $500.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. $500.
It was really rad. So
what's the Zymatic? 7?
I think it's 17, 16.
17.
Zymatic's
But
about
they
$2
do
grand.
have a package deal where you can get a Pico and a Zymatic on the Kickstarter
For
a
what?
discounted rate.
$300?
I don't think it's that much.
But here's the deal: Doc will brew
Your
for
math
you
amazes
for you only have to pay him negative $25.
Yeah.
True.
And if you have a Zymatic, the larger scale version, you can create recipes that get onto the beer marketplace and then actually register that recipe.
Yeah.
And then people can buy your Pico pack
As a
For the little
as a
Pico.
recipe.
Just like what we're doing.
And just like what the Brewing Network's doing.
But you can do that as
and
homebrewers.
you get a royalty.
Oh,
so
really?
you can make money doing this if you make a good enough recipe and people buy it.
It's like an affiliate program.
Right, exactly.
Does the Pico?
So if you have 5 friends who have 5 friends,
Right. It's a great pyramid scheme.
This is the Amway of.
I'm in.
Doc is in, by the way. Doc is in. I love this idea. So I already loved the idea of the Zymatic.
Yeah,
and now the Pico, where I can just buy the. I don't even have to worry because even with the Zymatic, I was like, well, I have to worry about recipes. And now I can just buy the kits. It's
Well,
even
on the Zymatic, you can go to there's a forum and you can download a library of just recipes and you can pick and choose or whatever. But what the beer marketplace does, or I think it's called the Brewer Marketplace. I'm probably going to kick my ass for getting that wrong.
Yeah, we
But
probably should get these things right.
You can go. You can choose a recipe. You select it, and just like Amazon, right? They have ratings. And, and a place where you can actually on the Brewing Network kit, like your carpet porter.
Yeah.
People can message you and ask you about the recipe details. About
God,
do you
who
get
needs
this
that?
flavor or whatever? But people who are super into
They
sharing
like
their recipes.
people like that.
Yes.
Oh, that's a positive.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right.
So
they can
not
search
you.
carpet beer.
Yeah. Okay. I gave you the wrong.
No, you're right. That makes sense because there are homebrewers who are into the homebrewing.
Yeah. And then yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This is weird. This is
Now
why
it's
we don't
making-
hit our target demo, which is odd.
Now that's making sense.
And so what they want to do, hopefully, is develop a whole flavor profile based on all of these ratings and all the people describing the different flavors that they get out of the kits to basically recommend beers that you might like.
Yeah.
Recipes that you might like.
Yeah.
It's a totally different way of introducing people to different styles.
And being programmers, they're optimizing the marketplace to where you could essentially type in anything. Like, you could even just type in, like, grapefruit, and it will optimize all the results, like, based on hop combinations. Like, not just, like, if you're like, oh, I want a piney beer, and you're like, okay, Columbus is going to be in the result list. Like, it'll factor
parse
in
it and
exactly based on all the descriptions and feedback of everyone else before who brewed that beer.
Yeah.
It will factor all that in and give you the top results and filter it that way.
You can even punch in. So I asked them, like, can you filter by IBU numbers? And we were just looking at, again, this is all the testing phase. So we're in their software wing. So they have all their lab work, all their testing, all their research in one building, all their offices. And then the building next door is all their software and all their design stuff. And so we're chatting with the guy who was doing the thing. I was like, can you search by IBUs? He goes, I don't know. Let's find out.
Right.
And he punched in 72, and there came a bunch of a few kids came up. He was like, huh, look at that.
Looks like it can.
Right. Yeah. Turns out.
You can really get exactly what you're looking for on the thing. And then so we had that building, we had the dev building, we had the software building, and then they took us to where they assemble the machines, which is around the corner. So they have the
Matrix building.
Yeah, they're partnering with another company who puts together software or hardware, I guess. But seeing a bunch of Zymatic shells just lined up in an assembly, it was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah,
it was really cool.
It's a separate company, but it's literally a block away. So they outsource the manufacturing of the product.
Yeah,
but it takes the guys who do the quality control and everything at Pico Brew. They just literally walk half a block, and they're watching all of them get assembled.
Listening to this, I can't help but think that this will be like a normal household appliance. Like, it won't just be beer geeks. It'll be a pretty normal household appliance.
Their goal. I mean, their goal isn't to really reach us geeks.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's one of those things where a lot of us geeks are the type who are going to keep doing what we do.
Sure.
But
we're also into it.
No, I'm saying, and I cater to these geeks, so don't get me wrong. And it's one of those things where it's like, this reaches my dad, this reaches my grandma, this reaches...
It's people who are into
Moscow's
beer.
dad is a great example. Frankly, using reaching our dad, he was into this beer thing because Moscow's into it. And he thought, oh, let me try. And then he liked beer. But hearing us talk about brewing, it sounded like a big mess of a thing. And then he heard about the Zymatic and was like, oh, well, I'm going to get that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they just listened to me drone on for 2 hours about how to save 10 minutes. I mean, come on, dude. I mean,
How about save the whole time?
Well, now he loves the fun part. He crafts recipes. He loves fiddling with the recipe builder and seeing what adding this hop or subtracting that malt is going to do to the final whatever. And he gets to do the recipe building and the tasting.
Yeah,
it's the the fun part.
Yeah, that's the part I like.
Yada yada yada. He gets beer at the end.
So, are we going to see a bunch of pictures of this trip, or what? Did you take?
I have a few, and so there's a blog post. We're going to be publishing that, and there's some photos in there.
Okay, put it up on the website this week.
Yeah, for
our
sure.
Brewing Network website. You'll get to see the Pico Brew factory.
Yeah,
and JP and Beardy wandering around awkwardly.
No, it's mostly product. Right. Yeah, I kept us out of it.
You guys hold hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is pretty incredible, and the Pico is a whole different thing. I think it's going to be hard for people to even really understand in the beer world. Like you said, it's probably going to be something that everyone, it just is. It's like the microwave, right? It's people who want craft beer, don't necessarily have the time or give a shit about recipe formulation.
Sure.
They can go and order it. I want to drink that. That sounds great. And with minimal effort, also, they're partnering with White Labs.
Okay.
So in every package, there's going to be a little tiny individual pure pitch.
Nice.
So the pure pitch tech that White Labs have been rolling out for a while, that is going inside every Pico Brew. Or
Sounds
Pico
like they're
pack.
picking really good companies to work with. The Brewing Network, White Labs, More Beer.
You can find them at More Beer.
You can. I was there this weekend to get CO2. I was at More Beer and I saw the Zymatic sitting right there in a showroom.
Yeah.
And I remembered, you can get
It's brewing today, actually.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
And do you buy it through retailers like that? You can go into More Beer and buy it. Yeah. They're partnering with good people.
Actually, speaking of that, we saw the very first Zymatic machine was given to White Labs.
Oh, right.
And so we saw it on the counter there. He's like, oh yeah, that was the very first unit.
They have
White
it.
Labs.
They have
like, wow,
one.
that's cool.
They didn't take all of the equipment back because when I was at the White Labs lab a month or so ago, it's sitting in their lab.
They got like a
I think they have a couple of them actually.
Yeah.
They're using them to do experiments in the lab because it's an easy way to make.
No, this one was the very first prototype machine given to somebody else. So I'm sure they have a more current issue. Right. But it was really cool, man. For me, it was neat to see the inside of these things.
Yeah,
because it's all magic to me. But there's little pumps at the bottom, and to see the kind of wire framed units that the Pico is doing now, and the owner Jim, or one of the executives essentially, he's in there dumping things and measuring stuff out, and he's there doing it. Like
nice.
He's so talking to him. He's so passionate about beer, and he wants it to be perfect.
Was he sober?
He was totally sober.
Oh yeah.
He's kind of a lunatic though. He's like one of these super hop heads where he will distill oils like hop oils down and those Glade air fresheners that have the oil that kind of generally he'll open one of those or have his interns do it.
Sure.
And clean it out and put hop oil.
He doesn't want to get cancer.
Yeah. He'll put hop oil in it and then plug it in, or he'll put it like in his like a breather mask when he's working on shit.
Wow.
He just loves the smell of hops so much. He's such a brewer.
I wonder if being sober during the workday is the key to success.
You never know.
Lies. Graham,
There's only one way to find out. Ask someone else. Ask a Mormon.
I'm going to go ask.
Why would you?
I don't know
Ever.
why. I don't know.
My dentist does it, why should I?
Sorry, it was a passing thought. I'll never do it again. All right. Well, I love it. Check out the Brewing Network, brewingnetwork.com this week, and there'll be pictures and information about JP and Beardy's trip up there. And then, of course, you can go over to picobrew.com and check it out there, too. Go to Kickstarter right now and search Pico Brew, like I did, and then you can find the Kickstarter campaign and buy yourself a Pico.
Pico. Get in now. Yeah. It's really cool, man. I can't wait for that Brewers Marketplace to hit.
Yeah, love the idea. All right, it sounds good. Let me let you know about another Kickstarter. We mentioned this to you, I think, last week, maybe even before that, too. But Double Blaze Brewing is doing a Kickstarter. They're starting up. It's started by Jacob Mitchell, who's a home brewer. And this is opening up in Temecula, California. So especially for those of you in the Southern California area, they're looking to open in mid-2016. If you want to give them a hand, you should. They're starting with a 2.5-barrel 4-vessel system and 10-barrel fermenters. We talked about this last week, kind of a crazy little project that they're doing, and we're rooting for them. They're only trying to raise $80,000 to start this little brewery and help somebody go find their dream. You can go over to Kickstarter.com right now and search Double Blaze Brewing and give them a hand, especially if you're local in the area. But maybe you're just one of our homebrewer listeners who knows that one day you might be doing this, trying to raise funds to open your place. I don't know, go give a couple bucks and help them out. Check them out at Double Blaze Brewing on Kickstarter and give them a chance to start their dream, just like the rest of us homebrewers.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, look how my dream has turned out.
How has it turned out?
Nightmare?
I don't know. I go back and forth.
I tried to tell you in the beginning.
I go back and forth. Today it's fine.
You're still sitting here, Chris, 10 years later.
That's right.
Yeah.
Me and my friend Chris Graham still sitting in this goddamn studio.
I'm still telling you, give it up.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do a little bit of beer news, and we're also going to give some more beer things away.
I like it.
Whoa.
Yeah, we got more stuff to give away. I didn't even have to get Chris Graham that drunk.
He's pretty hammered. He keeps touching my leg.
Does he keep touching you?
Yeah, he does.
He's up to 4 beers now.
He's touching me. Maybe it's you.
Don't worry, Chris. There's still no HR department here either, so everything's fine.
Perfect.
Yes, there is.
Shut up, Eva.
Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back with more.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Beer tasting games that train your palate, a brewery locator, and the brand new interactive beer style guide. These are just a few of the awesome things you'll find on craftbeer.com. The style guide is a beautiful example of technology in beer. Browse beer style families or turn on the automatic beer style finder and explore beer through color, bitterness, ABV, aroma, and flavor. It's really the coolest way to explore every beer style besides having them all in front of you. Go to craftbeer.com and click on Beer Styles to start the guide. Plus, enjoy the rest of craftbeer.com, the Brewers Banter blogs, beer education, how to host a beer tasting, and the invaluable Draft Quality Manual. Tons of great content that makes your beer better. Visit the new craftbeer.com right now and explore the website that brings you all the passion, camaraderie, and creativity of the craft beer community. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on 2 gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to WilliamsBrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's WilliamsBrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainashev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Segmented, demented, fermented. It's the session.
All right, welcome back to the program, and thanks for hanging out with us. Hey, don't forget you can go to adamandeve.com right now and get yourself a very special deal. How special? If I drop my voice down, I feel like it's more effective.
Secretive?
Creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy special?
Creepy special effective. Go to adamandeve.com, use coupon code BNARMY, that's BNARMY, and you get a bunch of things. You get 50% off, you get DVDs, you get a gift for her, you get a gift for him, you get a gift for you both.
What if you have two hands?
Yeah, why did you put two pointer fingers together?
Well, because sometimes because I was talking about you and JP, Barry.
Oh.
A gift for you both.
Oh, both of us.
But what if you order from Adam and Eve and you have two hers?
Mention that in the comments.
Thank you, Tasty. I'm sure they're very receptive.
Thank the BN for
yeah, exactly. So go check it out. Bevo is showing me what scissoring looks like right now. For those of you at home who can't see that, I just want you to know some things have changed. Chris Graham,
Wow.
Beardy, Bevo now
She's
participates.
out of the closet.
She now participates in the debauchery,
No,
and she's
literally
out of the closet. Oh, actually, she's in her own studio.
She changed churches, I think.
Well, she got a new closet.
Go to adamandeve.com right now. Use coupon code BNARMY. I know you think that this is a joke, but it's not. They are a really fine sponsor of ours, and they pay some good money, and they give a lot back to you for doing so. So just use coupon code BNARMY, and then you don't have to go to that creepy corner store anymore.
Get that Christmas shopping done early.
Yeah, you don't have to go to 7-Eleven. That's the corner store I was talking about. Yeah, go check it out. adamandeve.com.
Great.
So we're going to do a big giveaway, and we're going to do some beer news. Now, the big giveaway is Chris Graham. You know how he gets after a couple beers. We're going to give away this time.
Where's his beer?
Don't start calling because I didn't tell you what caller yet. Oh, and you might want to strategize for this one. All right, you're going to start calling. And first of all, if you already won tonight, you are exempt from winning on this call. Okay?
You're sorry, not the good exempt. That's the bad
DQ.
Yeah. And here's what we're going to do. This one, I'm not going to tell you what caller yet. I'm going to tell you the prize pack. We're going to give away a refractometer. It's like $60. We're going to give a $25 gift certificate. Mm-hmm. But we're also going to give away, and I know that this is a favorite of this studio. We've talked about this product for years. We're giving away a keg washer.
Why are you looking right at me?
What's it called? The actual name of the keg? It's a brand. The Marks keg washer.
Yeah. So for time savings,
right?
I mean, that's what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Put something on it. Forget it. As McDole,
right? The Ron Popeil of keg
Well,
washers.
Doc and I brought that whole concept.
Yeah. I never bought one because I think Chad made you build him one.
Yeah. You were given
so I used when I still had cardboard. Well, after I threw them away and gave them to Doc and everything else, then I used Chad's for a little while. But then I inherited a conical, and so I haven't needed it.
The kegs are there, and
Tasty and I revolutionized
You did.
keg cleaning.
You were the original Pico Brew, I think.
Throw it on there. You can watch this stuff. Then throw another one on there. I can clean 10 kegs in an hour.
Yeah.
Cleaner than clean.
Cleaner than clean.
Frankly,
Amazing.
It did revolutionize.
Set it and forget it, and it gets better as it goes because the PVW gets hotter and hotter, and it cleans better,
which is better.
You can't even touch the keg when it's done.
Because it's so clean.
Because it's so clean. It's so hot. I don't think you need anything but water, actually.
Tasty keg cleaner.
Chris was
Don't
talking
touch the
about
keg.
cleaning while he's brewing. This thing's going, and it just makes it happen.
Mm-hmm.
The dirtiest kegs that Justin can give me.
Which are they're very dirty.
How much did you raise for your Kickstarter for such a revolutionary product?
Nothing.
Why are you laughing?
Back then, he was filling a lot of fillings.
I
He was
still
doing
don't care.
$900,000.
He's still on AOL. Do you think he's heard of Kickstarter yet?
In about a month, we're going to see little dock stickers.
Shut the fuck up, Beardy.
All right, so to get the Bevo's going to hate me. To get the refractometer, the $25 gift certificate,
Go big.
and the Mark's keg washer,
99th caller.
125.
to celebrate 20 years at More Beer, caller number 20. All right, 20 years of More Beer. 10 of those that they've been supporting the Brewing Network. The other 10, I don't know what the hell they were doing.
We threw away money for 10 years.
I don't know how you guys made it before we came along, but you did somehow.
Can we make a time limit on there, too? I mean, people might just wait, until we're almost off the air and then start calling in.
Well, no, they're going to start calling now because as soon as the 20th caller calls in, that's the winner.
Well,
There's only 5 people in the chat anyway.
Why are people calling me?
And don't forget, if you've already won tonight, we're not going to give it to you.
Are you guys stupid?
Are you talking to me?
Bevo's going to take 5 fucking calls and go 20.
Yeah. Wait a second. That's true.
20.
Yeah. Right.
Only she knows. That's right.
All right.
First,
let's let that happen. Let's do a little beer news, and then we've got one more giveaway tonight, too, that we're going to talk about.
All right.
So, do we have beer news tonight, Moskowitz?
Yes, we do.
Brought to us by
the Wine and Hop Shop, wineandhop.com, Madison, Wisconsin's local, and a great place to get your stuff.
Right.
So here's a follow-up to the Blue Moon lawsuit. Remember that?
I do.
Right.
Guy filed a deceptive marketing practices lawsuit against Blue Moon, saying none of us knew it wasn't craft beer.
Yeah, I stuck up for him a little bit. JP did
wrongly. Wrongly, you did.
And then didn't you report last week or recently that one it wasn't final, but there was a ruling?
I don't think I've reported it. No, I think I've not done a follow-up.
It's not a couple rulings.
I don't think so.
Follow-up? No, I've not done a follow-up.
Okay, all right.
News.
No, I didn't. You might have read it or something and heard me in your head as you were reading.
Usually,
which is a scary thought.
Happens every time I read the news, to be honest with you. So, okay, that very well could have
Your internal monologue is Moscow reading.
Every time I read the news, yeah.
And it's me reading JP poetry style, like BBC reporter.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, the lawsuit was thrown out. A federal court has ruled that it is perfectly legal to call Blue Moon a craft beer.
Mm-hmm.
A judge threw out the lawsuit. It was filed back in the spring, this lawsuit was. And if you recall, remember the guy called the bar? Remember I told you I was sitting at the bar and the guy called the bar?
The guy who filed called into the show.
Oh, really?
Oh, did he call in as well?
No. He called the bar to talk to us on the show. That's what he was calling for. He was trying to call into the show, and the only number he had was the bar. So yes, this
and
guy.
I just it was like a Saturday, and I happened to be sitting there. But anyway, this guy had no success. The beer's label, just to sort of refresh you, artfully crafted, it says, and Miller Coors is mentioned nowhere on the packaging. The lawsuit was dismissed because Miller Coors simply pointed out, as I think we did too, that there's no legal definition for the term craft beer. They also argued that it's not legally required for them to include the name Miller Coors on Blue Moon's packaging or website. The upshot here is basically its trademark registration for Blue Moon and Blue Moon Brewing Company were sufficient to let consumers know that Miller Coors is the maker of the beer. The judge furthermore reasoned that his dismissal in his dismissal, that Miller Coors, quote, made no effort to hide the company's ownership of the brand. Blue Moon is clearly listed on the Miller Coors website as one of its brands.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, no more lawsuit.
Right.
Okay.
It's great. Common sense won.
Common sense
for once.
Wow.
Yeah. All right.
Ballast Point has filed for an initial public offering with the Securities and Exchange Commission. What do you guys think it's worth?
Oh man, I don't know, but I do. This is one of those ones where I'm like, God, I wish I knew more about things. Because it sounds like a really
great... How many
great,
barrels do they make a year?
Sounds like a great investment. Yeah, so what do we say, $2,000 a barrel?
I think it was 1,000. Justin rules 1,000.
That was my rule. Thank you.
I've seen that used several places.
I don't know. What are we talking here? 150 million?
It is, about that. 173 is the valuation. They're expected to issue roughly 20 million shares of stock. The move comes here as brewers in California, everywhere, fast gains. Annual revenue for Ballast Point grew from, here's mind-blowing, $27.4 million they made in 2013 to $53.7 in only the first half of 2015.
Right.
What?
So we're talking
Crazy.
triple or more in 1 year.
I got to tell you, this is one of those companies that fascinates me. Also because as I've grown up in this industry, I know these people. Like sometimes, this is the type of numbers that you see on Wall Street, that you read in Forbes, and you go, there's these big corporations, and that was never my world. I have no idea about that world, that corporate world. But these are people, I have sat on this guy's patio and drank beer, the Ballast Point guy. And
it's like you were hanging with Zuckerberg or something.
Right. And so I read these things, and I go, and I can't fathom it. It's such a strange, God bless him. I'm so happy for him.
Well, Youssef got to a point where he's like, well, let's just buy the engineering company. I mean, literally, that's what they did at the beginning of 2015. Of how do you grow faster? Well, you don't wait for the one thing that takes forever, engineering.
What do you mean, the equipment engineering?
No, the people who lay out the specs for your next brew house, the people who design it.
Oh,
they
really?
bought the fucking engineering company.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. That's fantastic. Wow. That's smart thinking. You know what? That's Budweiser thinking. That's big corporate thinking.
You just said.
Well, I don't mean that in a bad. I mean that's what smart. That's business thinking.
That's really smart.
Well, it's not Justin.
That's why
thinking.
they broke the.
It's not Justin thinking. I don't know. How do we make it harder? That's what I end up thinking about.
That's not BN logic.
It's not even on purpose. It's just how it happens. How does it get harder?
They broke the Justinian rule of $1,000 per barrel because they're valued more than what their annual production is.
Okay, the Justinian rule goes for buyouts, not IPO. Exactly. I have no. What do I know about IPOs?
Is this a new term? The Justinian rule.
Yeah, and I didn't even make it up. I think I read it and perpetuated it. Is what happened. I decided to adopt it as my own.
That's what we do on this show. You don't know that?
Yeah.
No,
I
hadn't heard it, and I love it.
Yeah.
How many IPOs have there been? Literally.
Right.
Yeah. What? Right. Okay.
Buyouts
Sam
are
Adams.
a lot more common.
Exactly. That's all I was thinking.
What's
of
the other
Sam Adams.
one?
2.
And so now there's 2, and now there's this one.
Yeah.
Because Widmer was like before our time. Widmer did an IPO as well. Sorry. No. I'm sorry. I take that back. I take it back.
They did?
Pyramid did an IPO. I take that back. Do not quote me on the Widmer thing. Back in the day, Pyramid also did an IPO.
Oh.
And then I think they've since gone back, or that's when they became part of another brewers group or something. But they were one of the first to do it. And yeah, Sam Adams, now these guys. And you know what? Ballast is going to do great. It is a way, clearly, I'm stating the obvious here, to raise capital. And this is what we've been talking about with all these buyouts. And do you let somebody buy half your company, or do you do something like an IPO? They're all just ways to get funding to become bigger. It's all the same thing.
$15 six-packs isn't getting them funded?
That's why they can ask so much for an IPO.
It has. But no, when you want to grow exponentially, absolutely not. Unfortunately, even $15 six-packs don't do it.
Got to make it faster.
So what is the cost of a share? Like, what's going to happen? That's inside trading, right? So nobody knows yet.
But there's going to be 20 million shares.
It's a lot.
So you have a chance.
JP, Grandma is already tapped.
Was it 20 million, Moscow?
20 million, yeah.
That's true.
I might buy
Well,
in.
that'd be,
Boy, she's $1 million.
Am I inside trading just by saying I'm buying in?
$24
Right.
a share.
What if the Brewing Network was the controlling owner of Ballast Point?
Yeah, let's buy a bunch of that stuff.
How much can you leverage?
We're in for $80 million.
Jesus. I think we can leverage enough for 8 shares.
You know what? The thing is, you'll finally be able to pay us.
Right.
Not if I spend all our money on our 8 shares.
They're like,
excuse me, we'd like our vote.
Here,
You guys ready? Are you ready for your dividend check on your 8 shares?
We're ready to vote.
Okay. So good for Ballast, man.
Let us know. We'll buy some. Just
waiting to watch.
And More Beer will offer this. Just mail checks Care of Chris Graham. Just white plain envelopes. Don't make them obvious.
That makes the $16 a six pack more easy to stomach when you're a share owner, because then you get the dividend back.
Right.
Paying yourself.
We should buy some. Right. For the principal.
You're only paying yourself.
Right? REI funds himself this way. REI is like a customer. Their customer club is
member owned.
It's if you buy into their membership. Mm-hmm. You're buying a piece of the company, and you get dividends, and it's nothing. It's a few bucks a year. It depends on how much money you spend. But it's a great model. People like it.
Makes you feel good.
Makes you feel good. So the same thing you're saying, Beardy. Buy beer, get your money back.
And here's actually some evidence for the what did you call it, Doc? The Justinian method. Yeah, they're gonna probably produce around 130,000 barrels this year. So 130 million. It's not that far off.
It's a little. They're pricing up a little bit, as they should. By the way, that's just an initial estimate, anyway, isn't it? They could end up down at 130.
That's the market.
They could end up right at the 1,000. The Justinian rule.
I'm calling a vote.
Of what?
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
He's calling it.
Just fucking vote.
Right. Vote.
What if we divide the Brewing Network into, we have about 70,000 listeners.
I think I own all 40 shares. So.
What if we divide the Brewing Network into 70,000 shares, and people all buy those shares? Do we actually have to give them anything for that? Because I'm pretty sure that you don't even have to give anything. You have to hold meetings and talk to them about what you might be doing, but you're not actually held to give anything.
Right. As the sponsor, I might want to tell you might want to consult a lawyer before you open up for it.
Graham, that's not the Brewing Network way.
I'll give them a share.
Actually, planning this out is not the Brewing. Here's how things happen at the BN. I say it like I just did,
right?
And then tomorrow we give it a shot,
right?
That's how it goes.
That's Justinian.
And the next day, the SEC is knocking on your door.
Well, fuck those guys.
You don't want to know who owns you right now.
I can always play dumb. Isn't playing dumb a defense?
No.
How was I supposed to know?
Playing dead, actually. This man is
California.
deceased.
The state of California.
I
playing
could
dumb
probably
is a
do that
rule.
well too. All right, what else?
All right.
That's Democrat.
The pending $104 billion merger of AB and SAB Miller is looking like a headache for craft brewers who can their beer. I can't remember. I know we haven't touched on this in the news. I wonder if it's been touched on in the show.
Well, what we talked about last time we covered the merger is something that I had forgotten about, and that is that supplies become difficult if the big brewers can buy up everything. And people have talked about that with hops for years. But I had forgotten about things like glassware and other shit. But I haven't heard this about cans specifically.
Well, earlier this year, 2 of only 3 major can suppliers, that's Rexam and Ball, announced a merger. And now the industry's number 3 player, which is Crown Holdings, has quietly begun to cut off their supply. Crown is curtailing supply to small brewers, and they're dropping both new and existing customers using either 12 or 16-ounce cans, and it's lengthening its lead times to as long as 18 months, quote, when available at all, end quote, according to a recent report from the BA. Crown has not responded to requests for comments. Earlier this month, Ball said it had not changed how it works with craft brewers, that it was still taking orders. Rexam also did not respond. Wow.
I did read this from the Brewers Association, who's a very credible source to put out something like this for small brewers. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially, I wouldn't say it's rampant or anything, but tons of craft brewers have invested a lot of money in canning lines based on being able to put beer in cans. If they could not buy cans, that's fucked.
Yeah.
It sounded to me like part of the problem was it's not that they can't buy cans. They can't buy them in the small quantities anymore, right? So if they were going to buy 1 billion cans, it's still fine. That's what all the big guys are doing.
Well, what do craft brewers do? They do small batches.
They have
of
to.
good beers.
Exactly.
That's the huge barrier to entry into cans.
Right. And even your large regional brewers are not buying.
Yeah, but fuck that as the biggest thing with this merger.
Okay.
Let's get shelf space. I mean,
well, sure.
I mean, that's the real.
And this is something we've talked about too. Now, if part of the distribution network becomes more difficult, or I should say, even more difficult to get shelf space and things like that, you're right. That's all stuff that's common. But these behind the scenes things too.
Sure. No, raw materials and ingredients. That's one thing. But selling your beer is a whole new ballgame.
The shelf space thing. In fact, it's being evaluated by the government right now if, whether or not players like Anheuser-Busch, in fact, I think specifically Anheuser-Busch, is blocking out other brewers in their distribution network because that would be illegal. And so they're looking into that. They're specifically doing it. I wonder if manufacturers, if supply companies would fall under the same scrutiny, that they're not allowed, that they can't say, well, we won't sell to you in small quantities.
But there is the option that's very uncommon right now, but they do have cans that you just buy blanks, and you just buy shrink wrap labels. Shrink wrap, you just apply heat and it shrinks on, and then...
Yeah, but the can themselves is the product.
Well, no, but the reason you have to buy bulk is for the printing. When you get the printing on the can, it costs money for them to set up the press and program everything to where it prints like the label and the branding and all of the ink sets on each can. That's why you buy in bulk. It's not the pressing of like, oh, you want 12-ounce cans?
Okay, I understand that.
You have to buy so much.
However, material-wise, you're still talking about a shitload of aluminum cans or not a shitload of aluminum cans. So couldn't the same company say, I'm not going to sell you 50,000 blank cans because I can sell 1 million blank cans in one order to Budweiser right now?
Well, but they
you
don't.
See what I'm saying?
But they sell printed cans to Budweiser.
But it's the can. So of the 50,000 that they're going to sell to regional, they could just move that 50,000 and go, yeah, Budweiser's buying them printed. I don't want to even bother with you with your blanks or anything else.
Blanks are printed.
Because it's 50,000, and they don't care.
Blanks are printed. Economy of scale is going to drive things, and they're going to go to the bigger customers.
Right.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is what. So it doesn't. I see what you're saying.
Either case,
but it doesn't matter. As a manufacturer of aluminum cans,
you're going to have the same.
I don't need you anymore.
Right.
I don't need 50,000 anymore, whether they're printed or blanked or not, because I can just move that all over.
I want to sell 10 rail cars at a time.
But that's what I'm wondering, if like when Crown's ignoring people because of minimums and everything, are those people also saying, hey, well, we'll just buy blank ones and we'll do the shrink wrapping? And
I don't
or
think
if
they
it's
have
just
a choice. They don't have that.
They're not being
carrier
given
they
the
can
choice.
go to.
Yeah, they're not being given even that choice.
They're not?
Well, this is the problem. I don't know, but this sounds like
yeah.
the problem. I don't need you anymore.
Exactly.
If AB and if Anheuser-Busch and Miller merge and become this more enormous buying power, I don't need to sell 50,000 at a time, whether they're printed or blank.
But it seems like Crown is ignoring them because of not just AB InBev and the SAB Miller merge. It's because the other two competitors in just the can producing market are merging.
They are. It's not
so
done
then it
yet.
just becomes one. They're only competing with one other person.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And so then it's just like, well, we only have to provide customer service as good as those guys.
Well, I don't know. What I know is from the story is that they don't need small guys.
Right.
They do better off just selling to big
Yeah,
guys.
and in fact, Ball and Rexam had not really taken in. They were never selling to the small competitor. Crown was, and that's why this is a big
Crown is
story
now saying
because now they're saying that we don't. Yeah, like you're saying, it's only the big.
And a bunch of
orders.
our friends do this. Our friends at Moylan's Brewing Company, our friends at Heretic, our friends at Ballast Point that we just mentioned.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a lot of breweries here who have made a significant investment in moving their product to cans.
2-1A.
So, 21st Amendment, of course. Thank you. So this is that's a big deal.
Yeah, the Ball Rexam combo, that's still under regulatory review, so that hasn't happened yet. But it's whether it does or doesn't, Crown's actions are having a big impact because that was the only supplier that was considering your Heretics and your whoever's.
We might need a little phone call from Jamil and see on the next show.
And what's even more interesting is that
Ball,
right?
He
Because
does
Ball is literally
right up the street,
right
Yeah,
in Fairfield.
yeah.
They're right down the road. Yeah, Ball is right down the road from Heritage.
This was some smart moves on Jamil's part. I remember talking to him about this, both on and off the air. But he was like, because I always thought, oh, Fairfield's cool. You probably got like cheap rent or something. He's like, no, listen what I got. I got water that Budweiser uses.
Yeah.
I got manufacturing supply chain that they built their supply chain around the Budweiser plant. So Ball, right? So whereas everybody else is paying to have it shipped across the state or across the country, his is being shipped across town when he orders.
And now,
Not even across the blocks.
I'm like, Jamil, you're a fucking genius.
And then to add on, AB's doing like lab work for him for free and shit.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
X-raying cans and everything.
Yeah, they're testing all this shit for
this goddamn
DO
Jamil.
levels.
Right.
We're waking him up right now, right?
It was funny to
call.
Call Jamel.
Other can manufacturers.
Yeah. Seriously, when he described these other facets of it, I went, "You motherfucker is a smart guy."
Right. He probably he wrote a list probably of all the things he wanted for his brewery.
And he likes to pretend
wrote it down.
Yeah, I just did it. That'll happen after the fact.
It's in my head.
He planned that shit out for years.
That's why he started in Pittsburgh.
Years, yeah.
Without the H.
Plus, you have a power plant right there. But next,
who knows when you're going to need that?
Right.
All right, there you go. That's the news. Big.
Right.
The winds of change are a blowing, everybody. Oh man.
Oh, I love
consolidations and big.
Is that a personal quote?
You should write a song about that.
Is that a song? Yeah.
It's my senior quote. I'm reading my high school yearbook.
Yeah.
All right.
Stay cool.
The news was brought to you by thewineandhopshop.com. If you absolutely must shop somewhere other than more beer, please go to wineandhop.com where you can get Omega yeast and Giga yeast. And if you enter, BN shipping in the notes field of the shopping card, the discount will be taken post-checkout. You get $8 flat rate shipping on orders under 50 pounds. Wineandhop.com. Support those who support us.
Thank you, Wine and Hop, and thanks for being a supporter of us. That's really nice.
Thank you, Moscow, for ending that.
I tried to get through it as quick as I could. It's a long...
This one was my fault.
Okay.
I kept it going.
For the short turnaround show, I'd planned like a 6-minute segment. Quick news, quick brewing, but no.
Doesn't happen that way.
All right. We're going to get out of here, I think. We do have... I need to let you know...
Well, the good news is
I
don't need to come back till 2038.
No, you got time, man.
Yeah.
You're a busy man. Your kids will be teenagers next time you're on the show, I think.
By then, your robot will come in.
He'll have a second set of twins by then.
Yeah, the Chris Graham bot.
You'll be a Dalek. You just run in here.
All right, but a couple things we do
day.
have to do. We have to do Twitter game. And also, we need to let you know about our final giveaway, which is a 22-gallon...
22-gallon brew-built kettle.
A more beer brew-built kettle. It's 22 gallons. We're going to give that away. This one is for you podcasters, and here's what you have to do. You have to email Chris, which is what?
Directly?
Chris at morebeer.com.
Chris at morebeer.com. And you remember that the first thing we talked about on the program today about efficient brewing and getting things done fast is to have your brew log, your brew schedule,
checklist.
Your brew checklist. How does your brew day go? Make it into a systematic checklist. Those of you who do this already, we want you to send your checklist into Chris Graham. It's Chris at morebeer.com, and he's going to choose the best checklist. And you're going to win the 22-gallon More Beer kettle. And then I think are you going to publish it, too, and let people use the checklist?
Why not?
Yeah, we could probably do that. Put it up on the More Beer site stuff, because you're going to pick one that's really useful, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I might brew to it.
Might even brew it and use it. So, podcasters, download the show. You're going to be listening to this. Here's what you got to do. You're going to win 22-gallon kettle, which is pretty sweet. That's dock size right there.
Oh, I'm sending mine in.
Send us your brew day checklist over at Chris at morebeer.com, and then you have to send it in by Friday. That's this Friday. I think that's what you told me.
November
right,
something.
Yeah.
That's
like
this
October
Friday.
November
6th. November 6th. By Friday at 5 p.m., close of business day at More Beer, or for Chris Graham anyway.
Wow.
And because then he has to get home to the kids. He's got to change a poopy butt. So send it in by 5 o'clock on Friday, November 6th, and then he'll notify the winner next week. You're going to win a big-ass kettle.
Pacific Standard Time.
Is it dock size because it's as tall as dock?
And it's because that's how he likes to brew in big 22-gallon
I
batches.
thought because he could fit in it.
Yeah, that also, yeah.
It's got to be big.
It's
well,
that answers it.
That answers it.
All right, what was our Twitter game?
I want to know what we should do to celebrate the coming rain, the rains that are here, washing away the drought conditions.
They are
should get naked.
I just won.
The urine smell from Toto Santos.
You get to go to the cruise.
I'm going on the cruise. Well, I get a chance to go on the cruise. Yeah. All right. So, what were our responses?
Someone called Sweaty Beer Balls. Says we should play Boner Chicken, the Let's Get Wet edition. That's pretty good.
I'll write it down.
So, someone sent me an email about there's an actual Boner Chicken game. It's a TV game show in like Japan or something.
No, and if there is, it was so stolen from this program.
It must have been. It was. I'll pull it up for you. It exists.
I am so upset right now. I am so tired of things being stolen from our brains.
When can you start affording international trademarks?
Never.
Now we feel like now we know how Howard Stern feels.
No.
Okay. So Phil Howard says, take
No.
a trip to the local strip joint and make it rain there as well.
Oh.
Pretty good.
I like that idea.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Because Chris Graham's been sitting at home since 2009.
Married with twins.
Yeah.
Al says, save some of it to help put out the impending fires on the next RV trip.
Oh.
I imagine that's a lovely little water collection, device and the whole thing.
All right, I'll put that down because I am taking an RV trip this week. So
See? There you go. Adam says, don't celebrate, just move. I guess the implication there is if you have to celebrate rain,
sure,
get the fuck out.
He's smart, but I don't like his smugness.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Frankly, if you're taking a trip, you're moving anyway.
Yeah.
That's especially in the house bus. Our friend who ate all the pies says Brewcaster wet T-shirt contest.
Yes.
Tasty wins.
Well, I'm not sure. I think we.
That's really annoying.
It's not going to work in audio.
Yeah. Thank you.
I do think we all know who wins the Brewcaster wet T-shirt contest, and it is not Tasty.
Stop looking at me, you creeper.
I'm looking at Chris Graham.
You're just staring at me so creepily as
I know,
you say
but you're
that.
in a big sweater, so it doesn't matter.
It's cold. It rains.
Prove it.
She
calling
is.
HR
She's
again.
wearing a sweater.
John May says he's not sure, but he goes, I'm sure California will find some way to tax you because of it.
That's
Again, I don't like the smugness.
Right.
I'm not ready.
He's right.
Matt, it's a bit too close to home.
I like the
Yeah,
peacefulness.
Right.
Yeah.
Matt Hutchin-Haney says, break out the Summerfest glasses. I hear they work well in the rain.
Still got those?
Too
That
soon?
doesn't make sense,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
didn't
just
rain.
mean.
I'm
Well,
leaving
no,
that out, too.
but glasses work well in the rain, I think. And just the Summerfest.
And since you have cases
Justin,
of
the
them.
point is,
I'll write it down because he's an inside listener.
Justin, the point is that you have a lot left.
Right.
I don't anymore.
Jim Ferrier says, be a part of the problem and start growing almonds outside the hop grenade.
No.
Okay. Jacob Hurt says, go throw some soap on Berkeley.
No.
I like that one.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah, I like that one.
You got to wait a
All
little
right,
bit.
I'll write it down.
All right.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, Pete the Dink says, drive real fast.
I don't understand.
That already happened.
Because nobody in the Bay Area
Accidents?
knows how to drive in the
Right.
fucking rain.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, it
But
took
that
me a
already
long time
happens.
to get to work today.
In the first rain.
Soap on
And there you
Berkeley.
go.
Come on.
Soap on Berkeley.
Come on.
Soap on Berkeley.
All right, well, hang on. We have Boner Chicken,
Yes.
the wet and wild version.
The
or
Let's
something.
Get Wet edition.
All right, I kind of like that one.
Yeah.
We have
There's
Go to a
layers
Strip
to
Club and Make It Rain, which our guest enjoyed.
Yeah. I didn't like that one as much.
Yeah.
Save it for the next RV trip. No,
Yeah, it's all
okay.
right.
Okay. Wet T-shirt contest.
That one was all right.
You know, I just like the idea. Summerfest glasses. All right, soap on people in Berkeley.
All right. Jacob Hurt.
Well done, Jacob. You are entered to win a chance to go with us on the Labruski cruise. So we're putting in a lot of names in that hat, and then we'll draw a name at the end. Then you get to go party with us on the Labruski cruise, where we will be doing a wet T-shirt contest with Bevo. Oh, we're not.
And Tasty.
And all of
I think
Bevo.
it's just Tasty and Bevo.
Oh,
I'm not going.
well, Tasty's not going. Did I not read that memo right? I thought there was a
Bevo.
memo
No,
about that.
I'm sorry. You don't
That
pay
was
me
in
enough
your,
for that.
It might have been a dream.
In your writer. I think you signed that, I think.
Yeah, I don't think
Ryder.
I signed up with Labruski until Bevo committed to a wet. No, it's probably a dream.
Yeah, that's a wet dream.
It's the Wild, Wet, and Nasty Show starring Bevo from the Brewing Network.
Accidents happen.
I had a dream about Moskowitz the other night.
Oh, God.
I did.
Oh.
We were arguing about things.
Weird.
Are you sure it was a dream?
Not only were we arguing about things, and you were worried that Alexa wasn't pleased with you ananymore.
Really?
I'm trying to remember what you were worried about. I don't. Trying to remember.
Penis size?
Were
No,
you,
it wasn't
Were
sexual.
you trying to convince?
It wasn't.
Were you trying to convince him that she was happy or not?
No, I think I was
probably
just.
going,
I was
"Yeah, I
being
can
a
see
friend.
why."
I was just
nodding your
listening.
head.
I was listening.
Sure, yeah, I'd be bored to death with your shit.
You and I were arguing a lot, and then you were like, "Yeah, but also Alexa has this thing," and I'm trying to remember what the fucking thing was now, but it wasn't good. And I was like, "Oh, well, you just hang in there, buddy. You guys aren't even married yet." I think that was my advice. That was my
It'll
whole.
get much.
It doesn't make sense. It's a dream.
Just,
Good advice.
Just hang in there, buddy.
It would be the opposite of your real life advice. You guys aren't even married yet. Get the hell out.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, frankly,
definitely a dream.
He's making it sound like it's better on the other side of the fence.
Right. This is why it's not real. I would never say that. I'd be like, get the fuck.
It's just a dream.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just bringing it up because I thought it was fun. All right, so send in an email to bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com. Person who said put soap on people in Berkeley, and then
every time you repeat it, it changes.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the thing, whoever said we'll just go get some rest and come back tomorrow and we'll go jogging. Like what?
Yeah.
Go to Berkeley and
But he said it quick. That's all I know.
Because I was gone 10 minutes ago. I mean, that's what happened in
10
this
minutes?
program.
You leave late.
So I was gone 10 minutes before the show started, I think. Except for Chris. I mean, I'm always happy when Chris Graham comes in.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm just so happy that we did this.
Can we start doing desserts
Your
after the
live
show?
listenership is so exciting. I've gotten 0 email submissions so far.
Yeah. Well, once we stop doing Drunk of the Week, honestly, live listenership has gone down. Podcast listenership has gone up. Live listenership has gone down.
And the live listeners are drunk right now, so they're just staring at a blank computer screen, wondering why they can't send you an email.
Yeah, a lot like what I'm doing.
No, they're not allowed to.
No, they're starting to order stuff.
This should be on AdamandEve.com.
And
then there's Dom.
Yeah. AdamandEve.com doesn't count towards your entership.
All right, Chris Graham, thanks for doing the show, man.
Hey, thank you for having me.
And it's always good to see you. And we'll see you at the new Pittsburgh place. We want to go check it out. Pittsburgh, California, that is. JP doesn't fly.
Come to either way.
I don't fly.
Either way.
I do fly.
He flew to Seattle.
I have access.
I was there.
Oh yeah, did you pill up when you went to Seattle?
Oh yeah,
how'd it go? Nice.
Did you hold Beardy's knee the whole flight?
No,
he didn't need to
because
because
he used to do to me.
up.
But that was pre-Xanax.
Yeah.
He pilled up. We finally convinced him to go.
And how do you get these
to better
pills?
life through science?
A doctor.
Really? Do you know him?
I don't.
Personally?
How long does it last
Mexico?
when you take it? Because the flight to Seattle is only, an hour and a half?
It's about 2 hours. It lasts 4 to 6 hours or so. I don't honestly really know. Hours and hours.
So you were super happy when you got there, too?
I was fine, yeah.
I distracted him with role-playing games on his phone.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
and there was
I'm
a couple.
the cop, you're the robber, that whole
Right, yeah.
weirdness.
You should
He's
see
a
him
weird
now
dude.
because he's about as nervous as it gets right
There
now.
was some
He's
turbulence.
I'm just ready to go home.
There was some turbulence that happened, and he looked at me. He's like, "Why are you so calm right now?" And I'm like, because it happens. We're
You're
not.
like, because you don't know once you die.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
You'll never know.
Right.
Because death doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Saw a bit like an article online. It's like watch airplane pilots land jumbo jets at Heathrow in like terrifying fog. I mean, no.
Yeah.
But who the fuck markets that?
There's this great.
Get out of here.
I'm really creepy about dying stuff. So I actually like to taunt myself with it. So there's this show like Why Planes Crash.
Yeah.
It's called,
Wow.
On Netflix.
Definitely.
I love watching that shit before I have flights because I'm just like I feel like you got to know what life's
So
about.
will I.
I feel like you got to know.
It took
JP, do you ever
every
watch
ounce.
the YouTube where like they touch the wingtip?
I love these things, and it's always these just like horrific random acts, and I'm like, I don't know why. I just like
It
watching.
keeps it exciting.
Sometimes I'll watch it on the plane, like I'll download it, and for the people next to me,
Watch this.
I'll be like, check this out.
It took
Hey,
every
8-year-old.
No.
It took every ounce of self-control in my body because literally Sunday morning when we were getting ready, I turned on the TV, flipped to the news channel, whatever. There was a little spot saying Southwest plane has to turn around after takeoff because flames were shooting out of one of the engines, and there was somebody videoing it, and so they had video of the flames coming out of the jet engine.
I love this stuff.
And they had to turn around, and we were flying Southwest. And I was like, I really want to tell him.
See that though, to me, that my brain goes like this. What are the chances that 2 Southwest planes in a day are going to...
It's not going to matter to him.
No, you're right. You're right.
2 words.
But were they played in Credence?
Malaysian Airlines.
MH370.
Okay, good call. Good call. Still, statistically, I love that stuff. And turbulence, I love when it really when the wings like move farther than. I'm like, this is a good time. I used to do this water skiing race from Long Beach Harbor to Catalina and back. It's called marathon skiing, and the race always fell on Shark Week, and at the hotel, and it's an international competition. The Australians were big on this type of racing. Every television in the hotel would have, like at the bar and everything, would be playing Shark Week. for the drivers of the boats to scare their skiers into not falling down, because if you don't fall, you win the race. And I maybe that's where it started, and now I like watching plane crash shit and everything before them. Yeah, I like it.
I met it up, so I'm all right.
I always like watching, when you get the turbulence and the stupid old ladies that didn't click their seatbelts.
Oh yeah,
and their head fucking hits the thing in the top.
I mean, that's a little more.
I don't want other people to get hurt. They told you. Click your seatbelts. And they it's uncomfortable.
My dad had his pilot's license growing up. I was in a car seat, less than 6 months old, and he was taking me up in an airplane. And we had this game that he would play. We called it roller coaster. He would go up and then just plummet 5,000 feet.
Yes.
And we would just unbuckle our seatbelts and just be floating in the cockpit. It's how high can we go?
I love
we've got 5,000
Let's
feet.
see if you can go out the door.
And so Tower of Terror and all those rides. I love the drop feeling. He gave it to me at an early age.
Have you seen the video where the dog comes floating out of the top? Oh, the back seat. There's this dog in the back seat. It's like a beagle or something.
Of an airplane.
Because he's doing the same thing.
Right. It was great.
I like thinking about that moment where you have to discover that it's all over. Because some people die. Some people die, and they don't get to know that it's happening.
I live in that
But
moment.
there are other people. So, when I went skydiving, my favorite and most terrifying part was you're falling through the air, and then there's the moment, and I did it tandem. There's the moment where the guy pulls the chute,
and you're waiting,
and he tells you, he goes, I'm going to pull the chute now, and right then I go, this is the moment today that I get to find out if I live or die.
Yeah,
and it's really exhilarating, and and he pulls the thing, and I'm just waiting. I'm like, either it's going to tug on my shoulders, and we're going to slow down, or I'm going to die.
Right,
and it's really exciting. I didn't die.
Well, here's the deal.
Have you heard
Your
about the
listeners
one
can get that every day. They go to morebeer.com.
Yes.
They buy a sculpture.
Yes.
They put their credit card in.
Yes.
You'll get that feeling.
It's the same rush.
Every time.
Yeah.
Well, when you're standing on the bridge and you're watching...
Wait.
And you're
on the ledge?
Wait, what? No, as soon as you watch the handrail going away... then you're fucked.
Well, have you heard about the one girl who's shooting deploy? I think there was one girl who shooting deploy, and she bounced off the earth and still lived.
See, I don't want that.
I don't need to roll that dice.
You want that girl?
No. She's all.
She'd bring a liver.
She's got 3 bones left.
She's all jelly inside.
She can do all of
anything. I have reoccurring dreams where I am in a plane crash.
No, yeah. I've had those too. When I quit smoking weed
Were
years ago.
Bevo's in the plane crash?
Yeah, I have those too, where Bevo dies in a plane crash, and I marry Sam.
Look, I don't have to be in a plane crash for you to marry Sam.
Bevo calls you and says, "Take care of Sam."
Yeah.
We done. It's cool.
When I quit smoking years ago, quit smoking weed out, when you're a total pothead, you just stop dreaming. I smoked all day, every day. And then I quit, and then for 3 weeks, I had all these incredibly vivid dreams. And for some reason, in them, I died in different ways every night. I was ravaged by dogs. There were several plane crashes. There, really weird way. And I was terrified. I didn't enjoy it.
No.
But at the end, I'm like, God, I just got to start smoking weed again. This is horrible.
The wrong day to quit.
How about a little at a time?
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here, shall we?
Yes.
All right, hey, Chris Graham, thank you for being on the program once again. You always bring out the best in us.
Thank you. Just as much.
Yes, you can tell.
That's a low bar.
Don't forget to send your brew day schedule over, your checklist over to chris@morebeer.com. It's a chance to win that 22-gallon More Beer kettle. And go check them out at the showroom, soon to be a larger-sized showroom. And thank them for supporting this show, because quite frankly, we still wouldn't be here after 10 years without these guys over at More Beer. So go give them your thanks, like you always have. I know you guys have been good to More Beer, too. So, all right, JP, get us out of here, will you? Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. And thanks to Chris Graham of the aforementioned morebeer.com. He fled his family to talk beer with us, and we've missed him. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcasts and go to earsuppodcast.com as JP, Terrence, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney. Go check out Moscow's Hop Cartoons over at hoplifestore.com. For some good beer insight and homebrew info, follow Nate Smith and Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Production director on the session has been Push Eject. Today's show has been produced by Scott Moskowitz. JP and Bevo are anxiously awaiting Wednesday so they can go to Disneyland. And your host was Justin Crossley. Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP does